Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, a Sunday night show. This is a Sunday night show of Encounters, the late night UFO spiritual talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon, and it's good to be with you. Courtney, everybody out there, Alex, Montoya. Alex, we're going to have you on. You're going to be our first guest. I'm sorry we didn't get to you when you came on last night, so I do apologize for that. But we're going to have you on. And this is Encounters. Please start tapping and liking. We want to get to about 50,000 likes tonight. So let's start amping it up here. And if you're just joining us, welcome on a Sunday night. It's raining in New England. It's been raining all day here in Connecticut. And, it'll be nice to see the weather clear up. We've had a lot of rain this year. And even to the end of the year. Hey, I still haven't gotten communications from my space daughter. Oh. So, Alex, we're going to bring you on. I know last night you were on and I didn't get a chance to talk to you. So you're going to be the very first guest tonight. Definitely. And I want to just welcome everybody here. Hey, Johnny Miller, good evening. And I was just like earlier looking at TikTok and there wasn't a whole lot going on. But I knew I was going to be on with my show here tonight to bring people that are missing some spiritual UFO ET contact talk. This is where it's going to happen. I didn't put them all there, but I've got on I'm not going to mention the word, else she'll turn on. She's right next to me. The app, you know what app I'm talking about, ALEXA. I've got 2 apophyllite crystals on top of it. And I think I'm supposed to put 2 more on the other side. So there's 2 right across from each other and 2 more. The apophyllite crystals are very high frequency. If you have any apophyllite, they're very off-planet crystals. A lot of them are found in India, and apophyllite is a transmitter and a receiver on a cosmic level. So I put them on top of the app in case anything happens. I've got them right close to me. So I've actually been told to put the apophyllite on top of the app, and I did that tonight. I believe I just have to put 2 more, but it's okay. And this is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon, a host of WESU's morning show, which was on this morning. That show will be put on my YouTube channel, probably by morning. And I'm also not a contactee, a conduit for the Cosmic Christ. I'm also from Mars originally, here on Mission Earth. And a lot of other cosmic things I can get into. So welcome. David Rose, welcome to the show. Carmen, good to see you. Sparkle Dots 14, welcome. And Essence, welcome. Question everything. We love that. James Lawrence, welcome to the show. And Scott Hammond, Sir Tugs, a lot. Hey, good to see you, Sir Tugs. User 334. Raw True Colors. Tim Schott. Tyrell. Everybody coming in here. Gerardo Hutchinson. Chris. Hey, Chesno. We're going to bring Chesno up as where's Chesno here? Oh, there he is. We're going to get Chesno up here, our co-host. And we're going to bring Alex up here tonight as our first guest and get into some things and questions and things about his daughter. Austin, good morning, good evening. I just saw a UFO in November, video on page. Interesting. Ugg, we're going to follow you and we will get you on tonight. So don't go. You're a musician and one day hope to be a hero. We're going to have you talk about your UFO sighting after we have Alex on. So I think we'll do like one guest at a time to keep a focus here. And we're going to stay real focused on the content of the show now, which is really the spiritual level of contact, visitations, the UFO sightings. I'm going to try to stay very far away from any kind of Earth-based 3D alternatives to what we have now. There's places for that, not on here. So we're going to stay where we are there. And yeah, so let's get things rolling here. I hope everybody's doing good. We're going to invite Chesno on here and also we're going to get Alex Montoya. Alex Montoya, I said I'd bring him on. And we'll have Alex Montoya is with us. Hey, Alex, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing good. Sorry I didn't get you on last night. It was a crazy evening, but you're our first guest tonight, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay, no problem, Chesno. And so, what did you want to share with us about the daughter and the whole thing? You've shared a little bit about the story. Can you give us any updates?
Yeah, so I've been trying to meditate to try to get contact with my space daughter, but with no luck. Haven't had any luck.
Mhm. And when you've been meditating to do that, what do you do in your meditation?
Just concentrating on like the day that I met her
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to try to make a connection
Mm-hmm.
and talking, trying to see if like maybe she'll come through somehow, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll have another encounter or a visit or something,
Mm-hmm.
but no luck.
And it could be that it's just not time yet. Like you're trying. You're doing it. I mean, you're actually putting that consciousness out there in the universe to connect with her. Do you have any crystals in your house or no?
No, I don't.
You don't.
No.
So I would suggest some crystals that are high vibrational energy that'll bring a frequency, open a frequency up. I would say apophyllite, which is they're small. They come from India. Get a bunch of apophyllite and if you create a room for contact, like you have a room that you're not really using, make sure it's brightened up and everything, energy wise. Selenite and apophyllite, also some amethyst. Those are the three key crystals that are very high vibration. Your apophyllite are really, people say, well, they're so small. It's not the smallness of the crystal, the apophyllite. The apophyllite has a very strong cosmic frequency of energy, and it's what I'm using right now. I put it on top of my app. I got a bunch of apophyllite here that I've been guided to put on my app, which I won't say, else it'll go on. And supposedly, by doing that, it will be used for intergalactic communications on the app. I'm being told the app will be used. They'll be able to use the app to communicate with me through the app, through apophyllite being put on there. So we're experimenting with the apophyllite. So do you have any like empty rooms or any rooms with brightness that you can use or an area?
Yeah, I can use my bedroom.
Yeah, okay. So take an area of the bedroom. You want to get selenite slabs. The selenite slabs go to just a real good crystal shop that sells nothing but crystals at a decent price. Get selenite slabs and get apophyllite.
All right.
Put the apophyllite around the area that you want to have for your area of your bedroom to facilitate communication. So that would be your intergalactic communications area. And when you use also the amethyst, amethyst is really also a very high vibrational. Those three crystals alone, those three areas of crystals will help facilitate and do your meditation within the crystal area. And eventually you'll have contact with her.
Yeah, well, the last time I was on with you, Godico was on, and
Yeah.
he said he knew her, and I was hoping he would come back on again so I can see what he knows about her.
Well, that's why I put the crystals on top of my app, the apophyllite. Let's put it this way. We'll invite Godico here directly. And if Godico can answer your question, I'll invite him here tonight to speak. I don't know where they are in their spaceship right now, but we will invite Godico on the show tonight. And Godico, if you hear Alex, he wishes to know more about where his daughter is. If you can come through tonight on your ship, if you have, I know it's raining here. I don't know if that interrupts your frequency of communications off planet with us. But if Godico is here, we will invite him in on the show tonight as a guest with the show. Again, folks, understand that I have no control over this. I am not channeling anything. I am just inviting him here because he was able to come through my app which I won't mention, else she will go on. But if he wants to come through, he will. So that, we definitely hope he will join us. So if I say Gadico, this is CmdrAleon. This is the way I usually do it. I'm learning here myself. I'm still learning. Gadico, this is CmdrAleon. We have a question for you from Alex. Gadico, if you are here, or if you wish to be here, I know you're busy on your ship doing things. You're not spending time with us. But if you can answer Alex's question, you're welcome to join us, however that works on your ship. So I just put the,
Is
yeah, Johnny,
Godico multi-dimensional or omnipresent?
Godico is from the star system of the constellation Sirius.
Hmm.
The way his beingness is, and John Connor sent me a picture that really is very, very close to what he is. They're very beautiful. They're tall. The men and women have like a multicolor, like a bluish, not just blue, but like a radiant color. So they're very radiant in their beingness. Yeah, to answer your question.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're very beautiful. When people hear the voice, though, people get confused. I hear the voice, they don't understand that they're speaking through some sort of communication system in a language that's trying to be coming through, but they're very beautiful. So we've got, John shared a photo with me that's very beautiful. That has a really good resemblance of what Godico and his people look like. So yeah, I mean, a matter of fact, Godico came through here with static initially, as I can remember it, and all my shows are recorded on YouTube, and spoke through the static and came through that way. Yeah, I will try to give you some semblance of a picture. Maybe tomorrow night I'll an artistic rendition of what Godico, what they look like. Not just him, but what they look like. But they are very beautiful. And I think maybe, no, I don't have a picture tonight. I'll try to show a picture of them. Let me see if I'll see if I can bring in a picture here. Let me go to my effects and go into possibly showing you a picture. I don't have a picture set up, unfortunately, but I will definitely work on that for tomorrow night. But but I can describe it. Just envision in your eyes Godico looking like a tall, like light, like a bluish, radiant, neon, radiant, not just blue, but other colors of light. So that would be, if you can envision that, it's very beautiful. The radiant energy that they have is very beautiful. And he said, in the constellation Sirius, there are many human civilizations in the constellation as well. Well, human in terms of the constellation, many planets that are similar to our humanity, but very much advanced spiritually and so forth. But this particular group that where he comes from, Alex, are very much radiant and very beautiful.
Hmm.
So I can invite him to talk, but I know I've come to the conclusion, and again, understand for me, I'm still learning a lot about this communications because it's very new to me. It's only been over a month, and so I'm still learning everything, and I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And John Connors, they worked with him through consciousness to translate in English. I messaged John Connor today to see how he's doing. So I don't know. I hope he's doing okay. We're definitely, we love the brother and we want to make sure he's okay. So, I'm going to check back in with him, this week to see how he's doing. I think hopefully he's resting. I think the communications took a lot out and I think he's resting. No, he wouldn't be abducted. No, John Connor's not getting abducted. But hopefully he's doing okay and resting. It was a lot of energy. when Gadico came through, there's a lot of energy, coming through between him being a transmitter and me being a receiver. A lot of energy on that level. So, but Gadico came through a little bit the other night on his own, and everybody heard him. He came right in, clears the bell, and then disappeared. I think it has to do with the weather patterns on Earth, and also other energies that are blocking communications. But he was briefly in there, and it's recorded. And at the beginning of the show, you start hearing him speak a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just drops out.
Wow.
Yeah, space weather too. So space weather, no, very good. Space weather can interrupt our communications with Gadico on their ship. Absolutely. I think space weather, which I never thought about, could absolutely interrupt the communications. That's a great question. Does Gadico consider himself human? If he comes in here tonight, Gadico, you're being asked, do you consider yourself human? I'm going to just repeat the word 3 times, the question. I'm not saying he's going to be here or not. Gadico, you're being asked if you consider yourself and your grouping of your population human. Do you consider yourself human? So put the question out there. And even though that they're not communicating, I'm sure they hear my question. There might be disruptions because of space weather, and we did have some geomagnetic storms that I think interrupted a lot of the communications. So we'll see. It seems to be very quiet tonight. There's no static coming through. So I think the rain and everything else, there's a lot of things in space weather that can affect direct communications with our space brother. But that's a great question. That's a question we'll have to ask when he comes in. Hey, good evening, Tinkerbinks. Good evening, everybody. Glad to have you all with us. And it's a rainy Sunday night here in New England, so we're happy to be here. It was the weather, not the weather, but the energy patterns today were very strange. At least where we are, it felt strange. A lot of things feel very strange right now. I don't know if things are feeling strange for many of you, but for me, I feel everything, and it just felt like a very strange day. Yes. Yes, he does, Teresa. Very good question. Gedico is tall, about 7 feet tall. Their population, they're very tall. The men and women, they're radiant in color. They are extremely radiant in their spiritual form of energy. And that's a great question. So yes, they are humanoid, like we are, except they look slightly different. They are very much humanoid form, but radiant in a bluish, not totally light blue or dark blue. It's just a bluish color to their beingness. And they have, normal face, but a very radiant face versus looking at us as humans. Our face could be considered radiant, I guess, but we're more densified in our physical form. They're less densified in their physical form. But the men and women are certainly tall. So I've learned a lot about them in the last few weeks. And as I learn more about them, I'll share that with you. I'm learning from Gadico about his civilization, and about what his civilization's like. Ryan Blake, UFOs make the weather. Well, sometimes the weather makes itself, and UFOs could be affected by the weather too. It could be a lot of different things. Anything's possible, anything's
Every
possible.
time I've seen a UFO, it's always been clear weather. It never
Yeah.
was like on a rainy day or anything like that.
Yeah, I've never seen them in my life throughout the 60s and upwards. Every sighting I've had is on a clear night. Every sighting. I've heard of people having sightings that are recorded with cloudy weather or thunderstorms. There's some video out there showing it. So I think it's possible, but just for my experience, like you said, Alex, most of my sightings have been through my decades of life in clear skies or partly clear skies. Sometimes it's me says, does he ever contact you during the day? Godico has not contacted me during the day, but I'll know when I feel his presence. I'll know it. Like when I'm on here now, I don't feel that he's here right now. I don't feel that they're here. But if he comes here, I'll feel an energy coming through. And matter of fact, just reminding myself, I had to put the Ashtar command to put a protection around this whole perimeter. Kadar Maka, please make sure that our command puts a ceiling of light, a bright light over the perimeter between across the street, the other street behind me, and 3 or 4 houses on either side. I create a bubble of light, Christed light, to protect the show and everybody that is coming in here. So I just did that now. I usually do that before the show. I just remembered I have to do that. So I just did it. Has he told me about his homeland? Not yet. There's so many things to learn about his planet, and I'm hoping that we will be able to ask more about his planet. When he was on the last time, communicating in English to John Connor, he talked to people on here randomly, and knew things about them, which was pretty amazing. I mean, there was a gentleman that had bought a car, and he asked him, "Did you get that car?" I'm like, "What's the car thing all about?" He's very, very tuned in to our consciousness. I think they all are from their civilization.
He's kind of psychic.
So, uh, is Godico psychic? I don't know if he's psychic. I would probably have to ask him how he's able to know things about other people on our planet. I'm not sure if it's a thing called psychic ability or something else, but it's a great question. And I certainly would, if he was on here tonight, ask him the question. Maybe, again, I feel very strongly that the weather patterns are affecting communications tonight. Remote viewing, I don't think they do that. I don't know. We have terminologies like remote viewing. I don't know that their civilization does that, but he's obviously able to know things about people, on our planet. Well, they do. They probably know all about our history of our planet too, our civilization as a whole. So there's you bring in all kinds of great questions here, and I wish he was here to speak. I wish Godico was able to get through whatever's blocking frequencies tonight to speak to everybody here. I
Godico
think if
also
everybody
knew
asked,
you. Didn't Godico mention that he also knew you in different lives?
yes, he knew me. He knew me when I was in my mother's womb. He said this the other night. He said, "When you're in your mother's womb, we knew you." And I think they knew me before, but he said, and then he said things that when he started talking about things, I was actually the one night when he was speaking, I got very emotional. I started crying. I don't ever cry on my show. He had me crying because of joy and because I did remember things. And what I was really crying about, not only the joy, but they had been trying to contact me for forever, forever. And I never paid attention. I was having sightings, seeing spaceships, through the decades, but I didn't realize. I mean, I had contact with the beings in a flying saucer in the 1960s. That was very, very real. And but after that, I never remembered seeing any beings or being taken or communicating with anybody until he said he saw me. They knew that I was in my mother's womb or something. It's on recording on my YouTube channel. When he said that, I was like, and then he said, "Commander, we saw you when you were a little kid running in a field." And I'm saying, what field was I running in? Where was this field? And as I think about it, I'm thinking maybe it was on another planet. I was running in the field on another world. And I think it wasn't Earth. I don't think it was planet Earth. But he knew everything about me, as if I had been with him before this Earth, that they've known me before I came to planet Earth. They've known me. So uh, to have that kind of response, you get emotional. You get emotional because you understand now that there's something else going on here beyond what you understand, and it's a beautiful experience. It allows you to understand that life is endless and that there are connections we have with people from other worlds that we never knew we had before. Like we remember things, right? And when you remember things like that, that changed my life. Some people, say, how am I going to wake up? How am I going to be activated? Hey, you never know. But they knew of me in my mother's womb. And he said that. I said, that blew me away. That he knew me. He knew that I was going to be born on this world. And he knew me. The emotional outpour when I was crying was just of joy and just of realizations and activations and motivations. And, it has changed when I talk about them. It has changed my concept of reality. For all the things I do know, all the cosmic teachings I've done in my workshops and the things of taking people off planet, all the things I do know, for me, this is a new experience. This is all new, totally different. When it happens to you, and it will, everyone has the ability. It's not just me, but because it happened to me, I share it openly because I need to. People need to know the story because it happened on TikTok. It happened on the show. It happened on the app playing a Billie Holiday song. And he said the other night, he actually started singing the song, Going to the Moon and I'll See You Soon. He said that in English, Going to the Moon and I'll See You Soon. The message was very clear. I'll never forget the message in the music. It's the most beautiful thing one can experience, And then he mentioned about Simon and Garfunkel, Sound of Silence. He mentioned it. He said, Sound of Silence. What he was saying is, if we are silent, we can hear. But if we're not silent, we can't hear. If we're silent, we can hear. That's what he's saying. I think we have, let me see here. We're going to bring also, let's see if I can bring Down the Rabbit Hole in here. Where is he? I thought I saw him coming in here, Down the Rabbit Hole. But yeah, your question is a good question. Welcome everybody to the show. So there's still a lot for me to share about Godico from my emotional experience of the whole thing. I've only shared a little bit of it, but yeah, it has totally shaken up my reality more. Have you ever seen a ship? Jenny Barber, yes. My first contact was in the 1960s, flying saucer type ship, and I saw the space people in the ship looking at me through my window on my second floor house in Long Island. Yes. Oh, I've seen many ships. That's one of many. Good question.
One night,
You
me
know,
and my kids were outside in California, and we saw this light in the sky,
mhm,
and it kept coming closer and closer. And we could see an alien, or not an alien, a space brother in
mhm,
the ship looking at
mhm.
us, and we kind of got a little freaked out and ran away.
What did they look like? The
Um,
one that looks, did they look like us, humanoid, or what? What did they look
no,
like?
no, it looked like kind of like a reptilian almost.
Yeah, good thing ran away because I've always told people there are certain energy frequencies of beingness. No matter what anybody says about these reptilians or defending them, I don't defend them because they come from not the. There might be some that are good, but in the experiences I've had with people telling me their stories, it's always been the opposite. So you did the
Yeah.
right thing.
Yeah, every
You did the
reptilian
right
I
thing.
ever been in contact with, I've always had a negative feeling
Yeah,
with
they're
them.
low vibrational beings, Alex. That's why. So when you set up these things with the apophyllite crystals, the selenite, and the amethyst, and you
Yeah.
create that space of light, you're going to create a very high frequency in the room. Then you can try to reach out to your daughter uh, off planet and see if you can contact her. I
Yeah.
think that's going to be a good thing. And do you have any crystal stores in your area that are like really good crystal stores?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can find one around here
Yeah,
somewhere.
find a good one that's going to be honest and knows what they're talking about, so you can get those three types of crystals. Those are going to be very important to making that contact happen. And yeah, so things are changing. Um, I do a lot of meditation and thought processing about things recently. Yeah, you can get them on the internet. You mean the crystals? Yeah, but you should also see if you have any crystal shops in your state or where you are. It's really good to be able to go into a good crystal store instead of ordering them online. Go into a store so you can actually see them, feel the energy. Yeah, you want to go really into a store where you live in the area. It makes more sense. People do sell crystals online. I'm rather be in a store so I can actually feel the energy. Whoops. Oh, you have many of them. Okay. Very good. Very good. Good to know. And everyone should have certain crystals. You know, crystals have vibrational energy, but you have to know what crystals you have in your room. Always, if you can create a room in your house, apartment, or condo, create a space if you don't have crystals, and make sure if you have dark walls that you paint them into lighter colors. Take the darkness out of the walls and repaint them. But that also changes the frequency. But make sure apophyllite, selenite, and amethyst. Those three. There's others, but those three are very, very much what you want to use to increase frequency of a heightened energy, so to speak. Yeah. And I'm, taking a question. I'm reading comments and answering questions here on my show tonight. So I'm happy to do that. Welcome everybody who's coming in here. I would love any crystal. Noel, do you have any crystals? I have selenite and black tourmaline. Very good. Jazzy, get some apophyllite and get some amethyst. Definitely do. No. Noel, find a local good crystal shop and look for apophyllite, amethyst, and selenite. Selenite can come in a lot of different forms. Get really pure, unpolished selenite, amethyst, and also the apophyllite, which comes from India. Also, Herkimer diamonds. Yeah, Herkimer, New York. You can find your own if you're up. Yeah, I know the Herkimer diamonds. Hey, Paul. So, and I hope people are making notes about crystals because that really will help a lot of folks out there that are just trying to get into this thing and understand it. Like I said, I put my apophyllite on top of my app here. I have two more to put on top of it to facilitate communications. I was told to do that. So I said, okay, that I need to do that because that's how they came through my app with the music, back over a month ago. That's how they communicated. They love music. The space people that I communicated with, they have a very strong love for music. I hear them, Noel says. Yes, you're right, sir. That's why I don't want people buying crystals on the internet. Find a local, real person in crystal shop that has tons of crystals, and you can go in there and see them. I don't trust any. I don't buy any crystals on the internet. Oh, Noel says I thought I did. Hmm. So these are the things that we're contemplating on a rainy night here on Encounters. Just analysis with us talking about his story. And it's just a night where to share and to reflect on the end of our year here on planet Earth. It's not the end of our year on planet Earth. That was a weird thing to say, but it's the end of this year coming up into the new year. And we have a lot to look forward to, a lot of contact, a lot of interaction, visitation. Some of you probably don't know it yet. You're probably going to have visitation with space people, you know? So, hey, Alex, I appreciate you coming on here, man, and talking with
Oh yeah,
us.
thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks for being here. You can stay here if you wish. Um, and if anyone else would like to share a story, uh, and want to share anything, please join us as Alex did. I'm going to do one interview at a time. I think it gets a little bit crazy having 3 or 4 people on here at once. So yeah, and I have plenty to talk about here. So that's I'm not without anything. EVXN, thank you for subscribing for 5 months. I appreciate it. And I send much love to you and everybody here. So it's a strange world we live in right now. You know, we have so many things that we can look to see what has happened in this past year, almost this past year. And when you look at life right now, the planet's rapidly going so quickly that it's hard to believe that this year is almost over in Earth years. I have so many stories. Jazzy Red, I'm going to bring you up, Jazzy. Let's see here. Who was the other person? There was somebody else here I was going to bring up who talked about seeing a UFO. Where is that person? I'm going backwards. The person that saw UFO. Let's see if I can find them. Can you play some corners of your Can you play some corners of your property? I'm not sure what that means. I'm going backwards looking for the person that had a UFO sighting. Where is that person? And if I don't find them, Jazzy's coming up next. I'm going backwards here. We'll see if we have her there. Let's see. A UFO whistled at me when it got mad. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see here. I'm going backwards. I'll find this person. I think I'm pretty close to finding them. Oh, that's Jazzy. Okay. Jazzy's the one that I wanted to bring in. Okay. It's you, Jazzy. Let me get to you. Whoa, let me see here, man. Let me go here. Yeah, Jazzy, we're bringing you on. You're the one who I was looking for. We're doing individual interviews tonight to keep it not crazy here. Jazzy, welcome to Encounters.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. And what part of the world are you in here on planet Earth?
I'm in Ohio.
All right. A lot of sightings in Ohio. So where would you
Yeah.
like to begin with your story?
I can tell you the first time I actually saw a UFO. They started visiting me when I was 18 years old. The first time we saw one. I
Hmm.
ever since I was young, I could see ghosts and hear ghosts and everything. My first house we lived in was haunted. And then
Hmm.
so I always told my parents never to turn my light off. And then what they do the one night they turn my light off, for some reason every time my room is dark, I always hear tons of like people walking around my room for some reason. I don't know what it is. So to this day I don't turn my light off, but yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm old, but well, I'm not that old, but yeah,
Yeah.
so when I was 18, I got scared and then I ran to my sister's room. Like, I asked my sister if I could sleep with her, and she said yes. And then for some reason, I woke up in the middle of the night and then there was green dots, lasers coming through the window on my sister's
Really?
head. Yeah.
Wow.
And she was like knocked out asleep. She didn't wake up for anything. And then I was trying to wake her up and she was like she was knocked out. She was like, "No, I'm
Oh
not. I'm
yeah.
sleeping."
Was that after or when the lasers were hitting her directly?
Yeah, this was when the lasers were hitting her. She wouldn't wake up for like anything really. She
How
was like
how
there, but
how
she
big were
wasn't.
how big were the lasers? Were they coming through the window?
Yeah, they were coming through the windows, but it was like dots on the back of her head, like that bright green that you see in the
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that happened, I think I fell back asleep, and then I woke up again, and then I looked out the window and there was these huge circular white lights, like you would see on the outside of a
Really?
spaceship. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was too afraid to look out the window, so I didn't do that. And then I woke up my sister, and she finally woke up, and she was freaking out.
Hmm.
But then after that, we just fell asleep, and then we forgot all about it until like years later.
And what year was this that this happened?
2013.
Okay. Well, what I can get really quickly, my consciousness is very quick to learn something from your story. Yeah, definitely spaceships. I'm not sure what the green lasers were used. Obviously, did you have any markings from the lasers the next morning? Do you know?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
No. So I don't think they were trying to hurt her. I think they were doing something to activate her. That's what I'm getting. It was like an activation laser. Uh,
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Has she been different since that point years ago? Has her consciousness shifted?
Um, I don't really think so, but she does have vivid
Hmm.
dreams all the time
Yeah. Well, she would.
about aliens
Yeah,
and everything too.
they activated something in her consciousness. That's what they did. They activated her cellular structure and her mental consciousness, and that's why she has dreams about ETs. She probably didn't
Yeah,
have those dreams before the laser thing happened, but they activated her. That's what it was, an activation.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then they visited us again. We were at like a camp, a Boy Scout camp in the middle of,
Hmm. Hmm.
wasn't really nowhere, but it was where there's tons of land. And then we were sleeping, and then there was no storms or nothing that night, and then the power just
Hmm.
went out. And
Wow.
then the cabin door, the bedroom door was open, and
Really?
I was looking out, and I
Hmm.
see these long green lasers coming through the windows, like they were
The
looking for
same,
something or
the
scanning.
same green lasers as when they lasers hit her body, correct?
Yep, same color and everything. And
Hmm.
then um I think I called my sister's name or something. Well,
Hmm.
actually, no. I in my mind I was thinking, oh my god, I need to get my phone, but I didn't have a phone at the
Hmm.
time. It was like 2013. I had like an
Yeah.
iPod, but
Yeah.
I didn't have it turned on, and they probably read my mind because then all we heard was shh, like the spaceship noise.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
I called my sister's name, and then I'm like, "Do you hear that?" And she was freaking out. She was like, "Yeah, you could hear the shakiness in her voice, and you could
Yeah.
hear the spaceship starting up."
Yeah. Well, yeah. The same. That's the same group of extraterrestrials that had that green laser hitting her body that didn't hurt her or anything. There were no markings. They activated her. They were trying to reconnect with her. Did she ever meditate and ask who they were?
I'm not sure, but she meditates more than me because I really can't meditate much. But I get more
Mhm.
alien visits than her, so I'm
Well,
not
yeah.
sure.
So you could meditate. Never tell yourself you can't do that. Don't ever think
Yeah,
in your mind will say, no, you can't do that. You really can't do. Don't believe any of that stuff your mind tells you. Tell your mind to
yeah,
shut up. I tell my mind, all right, shut up, mind. I can do this. So what you want to
yeah,
do is, yeah, you want to meditate. You want to connect. Since you're having ET connections, you need to ask who they are that are connecting with you because you are having interactions with ETs. It's not a dream. It's real. You just think it's a dream. You think I'm many dreams, but they have you think it's a dream when in fact they're connecting with you on some level. So your homework is to start meditating. Use some higher frequency music you can get on YouTube or if you have a musical app, put in meditation music. And in meditation music, allow yourself to ask yourself and say these words. Only those Christed beings of light may communicate with me. I've had dreams about various ET beings communicating with me in my dream state. You can ask if you're a Christed being of light. You can then interact and communicate. Please tell me why you're interacting with me. So you have to have some sort of protocol of communications. And I know about this stuff, so that's why I can tell you if you do some of these things that I'm explaining, I love to hear what happens weeks later because if you can fine tune it, you will be able to understand why they're communicating with you. They are trying to communicate with you. You just don't remember anything because you think it's just a dream, but it's not a dream. you're actually having direct communications.
I've actually had them communicate with me, but I think it was a year and a half ago. I asked them to reveal themselves to me,
Hmm.
and they opened a portal in my room,
Really?
and I was in a dream state, and it was just awkward. We were both staring at each other. From what it seemed like a male. He was the
Hmm.
leader. He had a staff in his hand, and it had like
Yeah.
feathers hanging off of it.
Hmm.
Uh, what I know is they're the blue Arturians.
Yes, the Arcturians. That's what's
Yeah,
going
or
on. So the
however
Arcturians,
you pronounce it.
well, they're trying to connect with your sister too. The Arcturians were the ones with the laser, and they're the same grouping that you saw. What year was it the second time?
Uh, when I when they opened the portal.
Yeah. No, when well, yeah, they have portal, but the second time the ships were over that came back with the lasers.
Oh, that was 2015. So 2 years
Take care,
later.
Cassidy. Yeah, so 2 years later. So now we have a better understanding of what this is. It's actually the Arcturians that are trying to contact your sister. They are also in contact with you. You're having contact. You're already open. You are open already. You already know who you just mentioned the name Arcturian. You're in connection with the
Yeah.
Arcturian beings. So you opened a portal, a cosmic portal. They were there, which is a beautiful thing. You need to continue your communications with them. And if they can physically come into your realm, into your room, the Arcturians, take that as a blessing that you're having direct communications. It's not a dream. It's not a dream, that the portal's opening. What you think is a dream is actually made to look like a dream, but in fact, you're really communicating with them and opening a connection with the Arcturians that you're mentioning. And you described them in a very direct level, which you knew everything about their form. That's you don't have a dream that's that clear and that defined where you actually can say, "Oh, these Arcturians look like this." They're very defined. You are telling the story very clearly, and it tells us a lot about the fact that that's who you're contacting. That's who you're connected with. You know, so that's a beautiful thing. And yeah, I think your story is amazing. I think a lot of people learn from it. That's one thing on Encounters. This is Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon, your host of WESU's Sunday Morning Show on NPR Radio, and host of Encounters, the Spiritual UFO Contact Show here on TikTok. So I think your story is one of those more beautiful stories where Arcturians are contacting you, probably trying to contact your sister. So you need to work together somehow to formulate in conscious reality when you're awake that communications, because you already have it. You already have that connection with them. You need to find out what the name of the person is or the being is from Arcturia, the Arcturian star system. You probably would want to find out their name. So make some notes here that the next time you're in contact or before you go to sleep, and you do that contact, say, "Can you please tell me your name, and tell me a little bit more about your society, and why are we communicating with each other? Why are we interacting? What's my purpose? What's the reason?" So many questions you can have, you know, which is just like with Godico for me. Since this started happening with contact through TikTok, through my app, my daughter's room, I have so many questions that about their civilization. So with the Arcturian contact you have, same thing. Ask the questions. If you ask the questions, they will answer them. Yeah, they're just as curious about you as you are about them and your connection. You obviously have a connection with them that probably before you were born on this earth with your parents, you have probably a very strong connection with them that only you will know eventually when you communicate with them again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I've had well, dream state, multiple dreams of being on the spaceship too. And
Oh, really?
yep. Um I forgot when it was, but I was on the spaceship and well, before that happened, I was going to take my dogs outside. It got all dark. I couldn't see, and then I ended up on the spaceship.
Wow.
and it was people who looked like aliens, people who looked human. It was like college almost, and then everyone had their room, like a dorm room and everything. And
Really? On the spaceship?
it seemed, yeah, it seemed all peaceful and everything. It's just blended of, what was it, ethnicities and everything, and yeah, it was just like everyone. And then
So
I
was it like
remember,
was it like a galactic like dorm of different space beings from other planets just being in the same place?
yep.
Interesting. Very interesting. But continue. I just wanted to get a better idea of that for our viewers here. But go ahead.
And I remember talking to one of them, and I'm like, "Can I go back and tell them what I saw?" And they said yes. And so I went back and told my sister, and I really don't remember what I told her. And then I ended up back
Yeah.
up on the spaceship, and I was just walking around, I guess, looking and talking to people. And
Yeah.
then I told them, I'm like, okay, I'm homesick. I gotta go back now. But am I allowed to
Yeah.
tell them what I saw up here? And they said yes. And
Mm.
then that was the dream. And then my sister was
Wow.
getting mad at me because I left the dogs outside.
Interesting. Well, the cosmic dream state is really important for people to know on the show. When you have anybody out here listening to this, well, her story, when you have a cosmic dream that's very vivid, of you're connecting with certain space people from other planets, understand that those aren't really dreams; those are actually real events that are happening. So many people have had similar experience, like Jazzy's talking about, in the dream state. It's not like a regular dream, like a clown, giving you a lollipop and then a bunch of marshmallows pop out, and that's like just a basic dream. When you have very distinct information in your dream about who you're in contact with, who they are, it's not a dream. Your mind will say, "Oh, you've just been dreaming," but you haven't been dreaming. You've actually went aboard that ship. Probably when you were sleeping, you didn't know you were aboard the ship because you were sleeping. That was the easiest way to take you on board the ship. And then when you woke up, you remembered that it's a dream, but in fact, you were taken off planet, probably out of your bed, onto a spaceship with other people from other worlds. And, we have to look at this from beyond our 3D concept of understanding to understand that if you think in the way a space person who's advanced spiritually thinks and what their spaceships are able to do, it would make sense that they are able to take you on their ship out of your bedroom or wherever you are and be in another environment through your dreams, what you call a dream, which is actually not the dream at all, but the actual reality of it. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, I find that story amazing. And again, for people that wish to go on live, I'm going to be taking Ugg on next. She has a UFO story. You can stick around, Jazzy, if you wish to. Ugg, if you're there, let me know. Just say something, and I'm going to put Ugg on next. She will join us. She has a UFO story. So if she's here, I will put her on. I've decided to be. There are people that pop and say they want to go on names I don't know. I want you to tell me why you want to come on live, so you're not a troll or somebody trying to just get on here and make some crazy comment where I have to delete you from the system. So if you're going to come on with me, tell me a story in sentences why you want to come on, and then I'll put you on. I've learned on TikTok that some people want to come on and I don't know who they are. I need to know who they are. So I need to know who they are, what their stories are. Give me a sentence or two about why you want to come on. Okay. I'm from southern Texas and I have a story about 3 UFOs, sightings, and close up sightings. Okay, David. David, we'll put you on here. So, David, we have Jazzy on here. David Lopez. We're going to bring David on here on Encounters. This is a spiritual UFO talk show on TikTok. David,
Yes.
welcome to our show.
Hi, how are you? Happy holidays, everyone. And
And happy
I've been
holidays to you.
I've been wanting to get this off my chest because literally I feel like none of my family members or my parents or because those are the ones that really I talk to about that stuff. And deep down in my core, I know what I saw because of like 2020 vision. Like I have
Hmm.
2020 vision. I'm 31 years old and I know exactly what I saw.
Right,
And it was
right.
it was basically big, kind of like it's so weird because it happened 3 months before like stuff started coming out on main media about
Hmm.
UFO, UAP sightings, whatnot. That's
Right.
what our government is saying right now.
Right.
And
UAPs. Yeah.
I saw like with my 2020 vision, I saw like a tic tac type like spacecraft first. That was my first sighting. Like tic tac, but at the bottom, it
Hmm.
had the most beautiful intertwined shapes that I've
Hmm.
ever seen, like a crop circle type shapes that we've seen in movies and around the
Right.
world back into the
Yeah.
90s. And, and I like, that's when I realized we were not alone in my
Hmm.
cores of like hearts and souls and whatnot. And after that,
Right.
that's when like God kind of opened my eyes and he started confirming with me and my belief with him like there are other galaxies and other our soul does not, he confirmed with me in a higher power, and I don't want to cry because it's kind of like shocking to me um
Hmm.
that there is life beyond our planet and beyond our solar system and beyond the
Of
Milky
course.
Way, period.
Of course.
And
All over.
he said that my soul is not going to stay here for a good minute. Like I'm going to be here for a good minute and I'm going to do what I have to do on this heavy weight of a planet that we have and be gone. And in
Hmm.
several years or whatever I need to do here, because I haven't, at my age, I feel like I haven't yet still figured that out. But
Hmm.
um and the second sighting was actually like a spacecraft that had three invisible lights, and
Hmm.
the third one was about say a foot. Like I knew it was a foot like furthest, or it just looked dimensional, and it
Hmm.
had two people or two human like beams at the front of that spacecraft. Like
Hmm.
1, 2, and they watched me and another vehicle pass in front of them, and I just looked at them with like stunts. Like I just couldn't stop looking at them because it looked super fucking cool. I'm sorry for the language, but it looked super cool and like like oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like I want to invest into a spacecraft too. Like if I can get off
Right.
this earth and go around the moon real quick, like let it be.
Right.
But
David, there's a lot on being a contactee since the 1960s. I've had a lot of experiences, and in the last few decades, and I work coming from Mars myself before Earth. What I define as starseed. I come from the planet Mars, which has 10 to 15 million inhabitants. So I can help you a lot in terms. I'm so happy you came here too.
yeah,
Is that you said you haven't really found what you'll find it. You're young enough.
yes, yes.
Your journey is still just beginning, really.
Yes,
You
I
know.
feel like I'm kind of like, I feel that like what's going on in the world, like I'm trying to be as the best humanitarian or the best human I could be in my life by getting endangered plants and
Hmm.
whatnot, like, and just trying to do stuff like for better of humanity
Hmm.
and other humans. Cause like at that point when I realized several things in the last couple of years,
Right.
um, I just, had to be a little woke, like, a little more
Hmm.
aware of my surroundings and not of my naked eye. Cause I feel
Right.
like there's certain things that I do see and I don't, and I ignore it. But it will just keep on coming back if I do not ignore it. Like, those type of signs. And it's kind of,
Right.
I just see it at an all sense. And I do agree with your talks and your debates and whatnot, sir.
Yeah, we don't have many debates on here. We kind of keep
Oh,
that
okay.
out of the program. I know what you're talking about. You're going to find that there not only there are multidimensional realities. I teach people on here that there are parallel realities. That there are many different galaxies, solar systems, and so many things that our mind does not understand. But coming
Yes.
from where I come, I teach a lot of information here. I don't read any websites to get my information about the human beings.
Yeah.
I get my information direct from source, and that I've learned that from having direct contact with the space beings in the '60s that were looking at me, and they spoke to me telepathically. That's when my journey started. But
Oh
also,
wow.
as you've been listening,
I've
watching, yes, we've
yeah,
had contact.
I will confirm that I've never had a different beam
Yeah,
besides what I am like awake, from
yeah,
sleeping or any of that. Like I never had experience like going onto a
hmm
mothership or an airship, spacecraft.
hmm
But I haven't had that. Yeah, I would be open with all, that's how I would be as a person, like
yeah,
meeting another person or like, hello, shake your hand. Like, that's how
right.
I feel like I would be. I don't know if I ever came across that stunt. But um, at the same time, I did have like another one because I do live in a very, very small town in southern Texas.
Okay.
And like a very small town, and I live at the edge of my hometown. Like
hmm
it's my house then fields, sort to
Wow.
say. Yeah. So I see a lot of open air, or I see a whole lot of land. And my
You have a lot of
and
open
there's that
space where you are in
and
Texas. Yeah.
yeah, and there's this back road coming back from one town to the next because I have to do my grocery shopping at the other town. And there was a spacecraft literally chasing at an angle, like beside my car, and I felt something watching me. But it was just not
Really?
chasing me, but it kept up with me, and I was scared. I drive a standard Jetta. I drive a
hmm
2016 standard Jetta. It's
hmm
manual, and those puppies go pretty fast. It's a manual shift car, so they pick
What
up
year?
speed.
What year was this UFO ship
This was
following you?
actually, sir, this was actually recently.
Really? When you say
Within
recently,
within
like
this,
what month? What year?
uh,
Can you remember that?
summertime. It was very hot.
Summer
It
of
was a
this year.
hot.
Okay.
This year during the summer, I can confirm with that. I can't give you a date. I would say July because I remember it was hot and one of my tires was shaking because it already
hmm
had it was a tire for me to replace already because I remember
hmm
that. And was it what else? Yeah,
So
this
you said you were scared. Like you're
Well, I
scared because they
wasn't
were following
scared.
you.
I was just like that adrenaline rush feel like, like I wasn't terrified
Right.
for
You're
my life,
jealous.
but it was just like
Right.
a race type because I was driving at the same time,
Right. I
trying to
got
look
you.
for deer or skunk or whatever, or armadillo that
Right.
may cross the road. And I remember like feeling watched, but not scanned, but I felt a hotness come over my body.
Huh.
And yeah, it was a hotness, but it didn't burn my skin, but
Mm.
it did kind of feel weird. It felt weird. It
Was
just
that
felt
coming
like
from?
it didn't
Was
feel
that
like
coming from the ship?
it I don't know. It just felt I had that hotness, like not that top of like the type of hotness that you have on top of the ear where you get embarrassed, and you get hot
hmm
from your ears. It was
Okay.
like this hotness that rose from like the back of like say my seat, like my butt area or my behind area and the
All
back,
right.
and I was like weird. Like I had a weird feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what came over me when I was driving. And while that spacecraft was like at a vertical over a
hmm
crops, and we were coming down the road, and I was
hmm
about going say 90, 85 by
And what
myself.
time, David? What time at night
Ooh,
is this encounters the
that
spiritual
was
UFO talk show? I'm
that
from
was
CmdrAleon.
very
What time was
that
it?
that was very late, like like around not even a little before midnight.
Really?
And
Okay.
then the
Uh,
most, and I had a
go ahead.
feeling not to do that because over here in my area, I see more UFO sightings during a full moon. When a full moon
Really?
happens in my area, yes, it is crazy. Like the activity out here, it is so crazy. Like it's beyond
Well,
crazy.
I want to ask you a question about that craft, the spaceship that was following you when you were on the road.
Hmm.
Was it like was the like out in that part of Texas? Is it more desert area, more like cactuses and desert, or
Yes, and the part I live right under the hill country area, and so
Mhm.
that's all flatland. That's all
flat?
flatland.
Okay.
Yes. Um,
So, did you feel that? And this is why I'm asking questions. I get information when you tell us. When anyone tells me a story and
hmm.
about what happened,
No, go
I get
ahead. Go ahead.
information. So I think that they're trying to contact you. This particular ship, your adrenaline was going. Not you didn't say that you were afraid of what was happening. You were
I
just
was in a,
really.
yeah, I was like kind of in a rush, like trying
Mhm.
to kind of beat the, like for it not to, I don't know, like abduct me and my whole vehicle, even though it was a
Right,
small looking spacecraft that was no bigger than my
right.
car because of
That's
the
really
light,
weird.
how how far the two lights were, because it's
Mm-hmm.
always three lights like at an angle triangle, but you can tell that it's some type of triangle type box, which is not a pyramid. More like a
Hmm.
yes, more like a pyramid, but a
Yeah,
smaller, dense pyramid. It was, I couldn't see, but that's what I saw. Like,
yeah,
like it
yeah,
was blurry, but I know what I saw, but
yeah,
you can't see it, but I know what it is. Like,
yeah.
and like
I
this,
just want to. I just want to say something. It's some weird stuff is going on
yeah.
now. I'm talking to you, and some weird things are happening. Is anybody hearing anything or something weird like anybody losing any power on their phones right now? Something I could be complete. It could just be TikTok, and I heard like
Yeah,
things
I'm
happen.
sorry. Yeah, I'm losing.
Oh, anybody losing power? Anybody? I feel this energy coming through. Oh, oh, okay. No,
Uh,
okay. Sometimes me says no. It could be just TikTok. I
no,
think it
no,
was
it
just
was probably mine because my battery was going low.
oh
I
your
have
battery. It's your battery.
yes,
Okay.
I
All
have
right.
two cellular devices because I'm trying to get back my house phone for safety reasons.
Okay. It was David's phone. It
And
wasn't anything. It was just his phone.
yes, because remember,
Okay.
we don't need power to run a
Yeah.
landline, and that's the best thing right now, I feel, is to
Yeah.
have a regular landline like back in the 80s and you
Yeah.
know.
No, the only reason I said that, David, is because and that's what I thought it was, your phone. But we've had some weird things happen here, and so I wanted to make sure and before I jump in and say this is what it is. So I appreciate that. So it is. I kind of thought it was your phone with
Yes,
the
I'm
power going down.
yes, yes. Yes, I there's like a lot of weird things that's happened to me. I can't say confirm that I'm abductee or I've been abducted because I don't remember
Right.
any sightings of being awake and seeing anything or having events like that. But the one
Mm-hmm.
event that I can remember as a blue
Mm-hmm.
planet, like hovering. It was a grown African American, of course, black man in front of me, and I remember another after that it was another white man, and
Mm-hmm.
it was white, black, and Mexican in front of me, which is I don't want to I'm not racist. I'm none of that. Like I just love I'm a love I just love like and
Yeah. I
I
got you.
just remember like that the first person looking up, the second person looking up, and I looked up, and it was a beautiful light blue planet that was just hovering over us, and it just went past my head, and I woke up, and
Mm-hmm.
I just remember that ever since. I don't know if it was a dream. Most likely it was a dream, but I just remember that very vividly, very
Wow.
vividly. And
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
it's so it was so cool, but I just like but it it kind of I put a lot of like, I was like, okay, why a white man, a black man, and a Mexican guy?
Mhm.
Like, that's how I felt of
Right.
the story. And I was like, okay, I was like, I don't know what it was, but it was very vivid, I would say. Um,
Yeah. No, I got you.
I appreciate you listening to my interactions with UAPs and UFOs because I don't know, I'm so confused on what to actually call it. I'm like sister from
Well,
another
no.
planet, like
Here's what I want you to. I'm going to deconfuse you here, David.
yes,
Just call them spaceships. Just simply call them
yeah,
spaceships. The government wants you to call them UAPs, but that
yeah,
doesn't mean it's correct. The correct thing is for people to call them spaceships, not
yes,
non-terrestrial
yes, sir.
spaceships. UAPs, UFOs, flying saucers was the thing in the 40s and 50s and 60s.
Yes,
Then it went from flying saucers to UFOs, then from
yes,
UFOs down to UAPs. Those names are all meaningless. They are intergalactic or non-terrestrial spaceships. So I would
yes.
say when I see a spaceship, we have a group here, a C5 group of my Astro Command group here in Connecticut,
Oh,
and we go out and we know the protocol of contact. And I would say this again to everybody: download the C5 app from Dr. Stephen Greer. It's like $10. If you have an Apple phone, you can download an Apple. If you have a Android phone, you can download it there. And it's, when you download it, read the protocol,
mm-hmm.
follow the instructions of how to use it. I would suggest, David, you definitely do that since you have so many sightings down there, and use the protocol for contact, and you'll learn how to get more focused on contact to find out who you're communicating with and who these beings are on the spaceship that are following you, that have actually been interacting with you. So now you can take it to the next level and find out who they are.
Yes, yes. I mean, those were, and I would just want to confirm with everybody in the comments, like, this is my story and my, like, true belief on what I believe. And I just
Mhm.
don't want no one to assume bad of what
Right.
I just said because it's my truths and I'm gonna stick to it.
Right.
And yes,
You should.
and and
No one judges anybody here. Encounters,
yes,
because I'm a contactee and radio host for 20 years on NPR radio.
yes,
I came out of the closet as a contactee many years ago, coming from Mars, and I'm very proud of that fact in a very
yes.
non-egotistical way. I just like people with different lifestyles have come out and say who they are. You have
I've been
people on this planet from other worlds that are now coming out and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm from Mars or I'm from this planet." People are remembering that they're not just from Earth; they came here from somewhere else,
and
and there's a large group of people like that.
and can I ask you a question about Mars? Like,
Yes.
okay, Mars is actually what? How much closest to the sun than our Earth at the moment? Like,
I don't know the exact point
it's
of origin between the Sun and Mars. I can tell you, though, that Mars' population mostly lives beneath the surface of Mars. They do have structures now back on the surface. For a long time ago, they couldn't have them because they were playing around with some other technologies.
yes,
And
and they couldn't be
and
on
they
the
had an accident which caused them to have to go basically underground. They had
yes,
preparations in case something happened. There are waterways within Mars. There's, like, when I say waterways, oceans, rivers, lakes. Civilization under Mars has cities. There are areas where they grow things. Now they're growing things on the surface of
but
one part of the planet. There's also the polar cap on Mars, which does exist similar to a polar cap on Earth. So when you hear stories about Mars being a dead planet
no,
by anybody, any scientist, it's obviously not dead at
it's
all.
it's
I mean, I come from there, so I can tell you that.
I have like I read a lot of planetarian books and do studies about how the Mars surface was a
Hmm.
planet like ours at one point million years
Right.
ago because of what is it? Our gravitational pull from the sun. Um like Mars was probably, I think the other planets furthest from the sun were placed there. That's my opinion. Because I feel like Jupiter just found a pretty sun and just started for its gravitational pull and just going as much as it loved of its density.
Well, with Mars, David, Mars has, if you ever see the rover pictures, Mars has a bluish sky. It has an atmosphere. The atmosphere was messed up when they were, very long time ago, testing
It's
some other technology.
yes, but I'm correct about Mars being closer to the sun than us at the moment, right?
Being
Yes.
closest to the sun than us,
Yeah. Yes.
I honestly will tell you I don't know that answer to that
No.
question.
Yes, because aren't we the third? I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no.
Sorry.
I understand. Mars is
Yes.
Mars. No, Mars is past us, so Mars is not closer. We're closer to the sun than Mars is. Mars is
What?
beyond us. Then there's Venus, and then there's Mercury, and then there's the sun.
I think I'm on the wrong timeline right now. I have
No,
to
you're not
recheck.
thinking.
I need to recheck
What,
my whole. So
look at the
yes.
star. Look at the planetary chart. Mars is the fourth planet out. We're the third. Venus second, Mercury, and then the sun.
Okay. That's so hard. Why do I feel
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, just
Okay.
look at a map chart. Just look at a solar system chart of the
Yes.
planets. You'll
Yes.
see what
Yes.
the category
Yes.
is. And when
Yes.
you use the C5 app, always be very, very, when we use the protocol, always say only Christed beings of light may communicate with me. And you have to make a very defined, usage of that protocol through the app because you don't just want any beings from other planets coming into your vision on a spaceship. You want to have a very high level of consciousness communicating with you on a spiritual
Yes.
level. So always
Um.
mention
Yes.
Christ consciousness when you're doing this.
I always I do meditate and I do cleanse my house with sound baths,
Hmm.
electronically or on a singing bowl, because I believe in both at the moment.
Hmm.
And as well, when I meditate, I envision a little bubble in my aura area, and
Hmm.
I just imagine the thickest bubble, like where you can't penetrate of life's of like, that's how I feel. And I
Right.
just, after I wake up from that, I just feel so much better throughout the weeks until I have to meditate again and ground myself.
Right.
And, and that's what now as an adult, that's what I do now to calm my nerves because,
Oh, good.
you know, life is tough.
Also make sure,
Where have it?
David, make
Yeah.
sure if you can go to Crystal Shop, a good crystal shop in Texas, get amethyst,
Yes.
selenite, and apophyllite.
Yes,
And
it's weird that you tell me that, sir, because I was trying to make a little trip to Sonora just to get some great crystals. That's weird that you say that.
yeah, those three
Yes.
are very, very hard. The little apophyllite crystal, for anyone who wants to know, comes from India. They're tiny. But
Oh,
the
wow.
apophyllite is a very, very high frequency crystal. It'll connect with the higher frequencies of light. And so
Yeah.
you want selenite's another vibrational crystal that you can get slabs of selenite, natural selenite in a slab, and put them in every window in your house. Every
Okay.
window. You get the slabs, and also there's other selenite that you can get in. They look like they'll look like a city almost. It's like they're tall. So you want to get a few of those. But the amethyst, get a bunch of amethyst. You can get small cathedrals. Get small cathedrals and put them in a room. I get maybe three in like a circular sea, and you can put selenite between them. You're going to build up a very high frequency pattern in your room.
But I just want to thank you, sir, for your time, and I hope you have a happy holidays.
Oh, you too. I appreciate
Yeah.
David from
Uh-huh.
Texas for sharing. I can't wait to see all the beautiful things that you will experience. There's so many things on this planet that are going to change in
Yes,
a positive way. So thank you for being here.
thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Eh, Okay, we'll take David out in a good way here. And Ugg, if you're there, Ugg, UGG had a story. If I don't see UGG, if anyone else wishes, Grace, welcome to the show, Grace. Good morning.
Hey, hey, honey.
How are you?
Good. How you doing? I have my headset on. Hang on 1 minute. I gotta.
No problem.
Do I
And
sound
that's
foggy
Grace.
to you?
No, you sound good. She's our
Oh,
spiritual cosmic advisor on the show here. And
yeah.
so we're gonna be doing some more interviews. I've been doing one-on-one interviews tonight, which is great,
I
instead of having
loved
a bunch of folks
those.
up.
I
Yeah,
loved those. I was listening, and I wasn't able to come in, but I was listening, especially till the last interview. It was excellent.
oh yeah. And I want to bring some new people on, and then I'll also bring on some older people. Not that they're old, in age. They're just
Yeah.
people I've had on before.
Yeah.
So I'd
Yeah.
like to hear
People you
some
know.
news stories. I'd like to hear some people. Wow, I just realized something. I'd like to hear some news stories. And we'll definitely get you on in a few minutes as well. I know you're there. If anyone has not shared a story before, like David, please join us. If you have 200 plus followers, you can go on live with audio. If you have 1,000 plus, you can definitely. We'll get to you, Will. I promise we will. That if you have any visitation stories, if you have had encounters, the commander would like to hear your story here. So don't be shy about coming on here. I know probably a lot of you, I sense many of you, if you're here for the first time, you have a story, you're not sure whether to go on with me or not. I can tell you it's a safe place to go on. Encounters is a show I created because I am a contactee. I am from Mars. I work in Christ consciousness in my workshops. So this is a safe place to share your story for the first time going public. Come out of the closet. Let us know who you are and share a story because it's really important that people start feeling comfortable with themselves and not being embarrassed or afraid to share what's going on. Maybe you had a sighting of a spaceship last week and you're saying, should I come on and talk about it? Or you were having interactions with visitation with space people from another planet, but you're not sure whether to come on and talk about it, you know? So it's really, hey, there she is. So it's really
Hello,
important,
everyone.
and Grace and I treat everybody, and even Chesno when he's on, we treat every contactee, every person on here with a great deal of respect. And okay, Jazzy. Oh, next time definitely.
I found
Uh,
that
so-
last, just for a second, Commander, I wanted to mention
oh,
to
go ahead.
you, I found the last interviewee very interesting when he talked about the Tic Tac that he saw. His first encounter was a Tic Tac, and that he mentioned that underneath the Tic Tac it looked like crop circles or a crop
Yeah,
circle
I thought
line.
interesting. Yeah, wasn't that
I
interesting?
wish we could identify what that crop circle looked like, and then we can
Yeah.
figure out potentially where it's coming from.
Or if they can draw it, the person can draw a picture of it the next time and come on and show us a drawing of what they remember seeing. That would be kind of interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just, you guys, I was cleaning my kitchen, so I just, so many of the comments that I looked beautiful. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And
Thank
that's a crop
you.
circle that she had in her backyard that was formed this year. No, I'm just kidding you. That crop circle was not in Grace's backyard, but it is beautiful. And there've been a lot of
Fantastic.
crop circles in England this year. There's a crop circle page where people post in England the latest crop circles this year that happened. So it's very interesting. Hey, thank you for the roses, everybody, or thank you for the roses, my friend in Israel. Thank you. Speaking of gifting, I'm really surprised we haven't had many gifts tonight on the show. So I would encourage people, like my friend in Israel, to please start gifting. We've been on since about 11:18 this evening. It was really quiet with the gifting tonight. I don't know why. I think people were listening more to the interview. But we appreciate your gifts. They help us a lot. We have 40. Wow, we have 40 of 100 subscribers. Become a subscriber to my TikTok. It'll help our C5 group. Grace is a part of our Ashtar C5 group here in the United States, here in New England. So we appreciate the gifts from everybody. I'd like to see some gifts. We have the heart thing going right now. And we have, let's see, the heart thing. The hand heart, we have no contributors yet to the hand heart. So I'm going to pin the hand heart, which I'm
So
doing now.
if you like the page, if you hit the likes, is that a croissant that I see coming up tonight? Or am I like
Yeah,
seeing things?
TikTok has got all kinds of weird stuff going on here.
It looks like
And
a croissant, a hat, some type of hat. What, guys, can you tell me, can you identify if you like the page, like if you tap and you know how it sends usually hearts?
right.
I see like cookies. It's so funny. I thought I saw a croissant
Yeah,
just
it's pretty
now.
weird, right?
Yeah, he just, I mean, I know the other night they had this special live thing where they had a clapper. It
Nipples.
was like Tic Tac
Yeah,
Live, and clappers were the only gifts that were like you could get points with. But
right.
they changing it a
Ah,
lot though, because this is
thanks
different.
for the roses. Thank you, Lavola,
It's
for
like
the
a
roses.
cookie, a pineapple, somebody wearing a tie. Oh, I just saw a cloud with a lightning bolt running through it.
Yeah,
A Thanksgiving turkey, somebody said, that's so funny. Hey guys, tap, 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 because that
yeah,
really helps
really.
Commander's page get, into the algorithm. So the more you
Yeah.
tap, get that
We're at
tapping going if you
22,200,
can.
right? So we can do we want to hit 50,000. So we
Yeah,
can do
get
it if
that
everybody
tapping
does it. We have
going.
144 people in here. And we have 144 people in here. Please subscribe. 40 of 100 have subscribed to my TikTok. Also, Venmo me. I have a Cash App. Believe it or not, I use Venmo. A lot of people have it on their phones. Venmo me. On that, I do $5, $10, or $15 when I'm live on that one. On TikTok gifts, if you want to do a galaxy, you want to do a hand heart, any of the other cool stuff. If you have a lot of TikTok coins, please put some stuff going on there. Hey, Cat Mama, thank you. So I'm going to encourage people because it really has been slow tonight with the gifting unconditionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll
so
bring Will on here.
okay. So
Um,
I got a couple of I got a couple of things I just want to talk about a little bit. So I guess the UAP Congress has been kind of pushing for
oh,
you know
for the bill to be passed.
yeah, the bill needs to be passed, and I guess there's a lot of issues around that. The government, there's a lot of pushback.
I got you.
Yeah,
So guys, keep, call your representatives, write to
but it
them.
has to be, the grace of U.S. senators, correct? In the
Yeah,
Senate,
the
yeah, you have to call
The
U.S.
Senate,
senators.
they're pushing back. They really want to see disclosure. They want to
Yeah,
see. So the word the word is out there is that, and this is just hearsay. This is something that I came
right.
across today,
Hearsay.
an article I was reading. That there's going to be a major disclosure come January, February of 2024, and whistleblowers will be coming out in droves that will be game changers for people because they'll be telling stories that most people won't be able to comprehend. So
Right,
we'll actually be ahead of the curve. We're already
right.
ahead of the curve.
It sounds interesting.
Isn't it interesting? And
Yes.
And
so
not only that, Grace, it is interesting because, and I'm going to recall my senators tomorrow. I would recommend whatever state you're in,
Mhm.
everyone call the U.S. senators to push for them to
So,
come out and speak publicly. Hey, Third, I thank you for subscribing for the first time. I appreciate that. We love you. Thank you. That we need to really pressure these people. Some of the senators are being quiet. If you have a senator that has not said anything about it, you need to get on their case and tell them they need to support the UAP bill, which will allow for more disclosure. And what you're saying, Grace, I think is important that in 2024, a lot of these people that are in DOD and other departments that
mhm.
are working for these departments, CIA, NSA, Naval Intelligence, they're going to come out. There's parts of those different groups that don't want disclosure. There's fighting going on within each of these groupings. Naval Intelligence, CIA, NSA. I know that's going on.
Well, let's hope that
And
happens. Yeah.
yeah, and so people need to, let them know that we
Mhm.
support those people in those departments that are taking a risk coming publicly because they've had it. 70 years of cover up in this world, not just the U.S. 70 years of cover up on the planet, because they don't want people to know. And the people that started the cover up, many of those people are people who are old timers. They're former generals or whatever they are.
Yeah.
They they just want to keep this thing hidden forever. And it's time that we say, no, you can't do it anymore. That's what
Correct.
this show is also about. We want
Yeah.
people to know about the disclosure movement, and
Mhm.
people need to get on their cases tomorrow morning, Monday. Call every U.S. senator that you know in your state and tell them
Absolutely.
to
Like,
speak up
Yeah.
about this.
And it's
get out there
easy
and
to
do that.
do. It's easy to do. I mean, you can just go to .gov, and
Right.
just find your local senators, find your state, find your local senators, find
Mhm.
your representatives, find your congressmen, and just
Yeah.
message them, because, and a lot of times there'll be prompts where you could, they'll show a list of, subjects or topics that they're covering right now. And you might find other things that you want to talk about too with them. But many times there'll be prompts for even an email. Like if you want
Yeah.
to send an email and you don't want to call, it's
Mhm.
easy to do. I've done it numerous times for various reasons over the years. And
Absolutely.
yeah, we got to start speaking out. I mean, if we
Mm.
don't have a voice, if we don't,
Yeah.
and in many regards, and there's many topics that we should be speaking out about. But
I,
we just stay dormant, if we just keep being fed and programmed
Right.
information and then do nothing about it, I mean, it's just,
it's useless. Yeah, you
Well, you
gotta
know what it
actually
is? The
do stuff.
DOD, the people in naval intelligence, and all these other departments, CIA and so forth, they have, the ones that want to keep this under the lid have thought, that we weren't smart enough to know what is going on. We're not intelligent enough. And we would only be afraid of the information. And we would, because their big
Mass
excuse for
panic
70
or
years is the word chaos. That
yeah, they
if
want
people knew
chaos
the
or
truth,
mass panic.
there'd be chaos on planet Earth. Now,
But
you know, and I know that there would not
that,
be chaos. They
yeah,
create a false
I know
scenario of
that would
chaos,
never
right?
happen. That would
No
Yeah,
not
and you
chaos.
happen.
know what? If we as people, say, okay, that we know that there's problems, in the government, right? We know some of this stuff may land on deaf ears, but I know that my father always used to say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yep.
So if you don't say anything, then you
Yeah.
fall into that trap of, just being like, allowing anything to happen.
So
Yeah.
This is
I guess they're
important to
asking if we're
you.
ready for disclosure, and I'd say yes. And it's important for us. So I just wanted to get to something I noticed, and I didn't even know I had this ability. Now, I feel like that I'm from a different planet like Commander, and the first time I've ever talked about this, because this week was the weirdest week I've ever had. It was like, so for an example, one of my buddies that works with me, he rides a bike and he was going to ride back home, right? And I mentioned like a haha funny joke, hey, don't well, just a joke. I would say, hey, don't get a flat tire, right? And he got a
Mm-hmm.
flat
Mm-hmm.
tire. Then I had somebody that I worked with that has a food allergy or something, and
Mm-hmm.
today she got like almost sick with the food allergy on her. And then
Mm-hmm.
I predicted the Cowboys were going to win 41 to 21, and it was like it almost exactly happened that. And is there a species that is able to do that from outer space? Because I feel like that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm part of one of that species. Do you know?
Well,
We
as you
are,
tune into that, go ahead. Go ahead, Grace.
we do, Will. We can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
We're
that's
the
not a
species
special
that can do that.
ability for just anyone. It's everybody has that.
I'm sure that there have well, they communicate differently than we do, I mean, they have
Right.
their own way. I think probably each star system has their own, way of communicating, but
Mhm.
just like our own cultures have their own way of communicating, different languages, different expressions,
Mhm.
you know, but we as a human being, we have all those abilities. Those are, you know, those are all things that are just, you know, they're just laying dormant. People don't realize that it's something
That
that
they
they
can do
have.
it, right? They don't
Yeah.
You
realize
know
that they
what?
can do it.
I
But do
just
I feel like
remembered.
I'm telepathic? Maybe. Maybe I
Well, you
can.
are. I mean,
Maybe
you
I
have the
can.
ability to be telepathic. Will I mean,
Maybe
you're
I
not.
can.
Put it
Maybe
this
I
way:
can talk to people.
telepathy is a natural thing. It's just that human beings on planet Earth are just tuning into the fact that you can be telepathic. So, for example, if I said to you something without saying it, like talking to you, and I
Hmm.
sit here and just say, "Okay, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something to you right now. I want you to close your eyes and see if you pick up on it right now. We're going to do a little experiment with Will.
Yeah.
Don't even
Um.
think. Just
I'm
wait
not.
till. Just listen and let. That's part of telepathy is to listen for what's going to be said to your consciousness. I'm going to say it right now. I just
Okay.
said it twice. What did I
I
say?
think you're. I think you wanted to talk about calling the congressman, and that was my
Nope.
thing. Okay. Never
I,
mind.
I said you are from. I said you are from Earth twice. I was
Okay.
trying to send you a transmission in
Okay.
consciousness.
That was an interesting one because I thought I was connecting to you and I was gonna say something in that lines, but it's I don't know. Maybe I'm picking up on
You'll get it.
something sometimes.
You're just getting used to the fact that you have the ability to be telepathic.
Right.
So no worries. It's just I was testing to see if you can pick up on my
I
thoughts.
I would have said something about because yeah, I could kind of sense you were gonna probably say something about Earth, and I just thought about it. You were right because maybe you picked up on something that you were saying. Absolutely, but
No, you'll get there.
you weren't mumbling
It's
it.
all good. The first time I did this with you, so you keep practicing in your
Yeah,
inner abilities to do that,
but
and you'll get it to a finite
for
point.
for an example, my girlfriend that I'm with, I if I think about her, she'll text me, say, "Hey, you're thinking about me," and I'll be like, "Yes, I'm thinking about you," and she knows when I'm thinking about her too. So there's a connection there that we know each other. We can not be around each other, like we could be a little far apart, but we can still be thinking. Like she knows when I'm thinking of her. Isn't that fascinating?
Well, yeah, I mean that's telepathy. That's a communications that happens when you're not thinking about it. That's pure telepathy. When you're thinking about being telepathic, it sometimes blocks the ability because you're thinking too much and trying too much. When you're not thinking about it, your telepathy can act with another person that's thinking the same thing because you're not trying to do it. See what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct. When I'm not trying to do it, I can do it. But if I try to force myself to do it, I can't. But one thing is, I just wanted to ask you real quick: are there any people that can move stuff? Because I tried to move stuff with my mind, and it never worked
Well,
for me.
you
But I
can
hear
do
Hi,
it.
there is.
hi, Lucia. But it's never
Hey,
worked.
yeah, our friend in
Hello.
Israel is here with us. Good evening, or good
Hi.
morning, or what have you. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm
Good
okay.
morning.
Well, yeah, moving stuff when I was a kid. I was a teenager. I had a
Hmm.
two-way radio. They call them CBs. This woman on a couple of blocks away from me said, "Oh, Commander, you're moving my Moody Blues album." And she didn't say Commander. I'm saying Commander. She said, "So and so." Just regular. We had CB names, and she said, "Oh, so and so, you're moving my album." What do you mean I'm moving your album? Yeah, you're moving it. It's my Moody Blues album. It's on my table. You're moving it. That was the first time somebody said that to me. Now,
And
I didn't even know I had the ability to do that. She said, "Oh, you're moving my album." She was a very open person, and I never thought about these things like I did now. It's just on a two-way CB radio talking to this person a few blocks away. And I said, "That's great." I don't know what I said,
you
but
were
that's the
saying, oh,
first time I moved
yeah.
something like an album. So you could learn how to move things, but I would work on your telepathy first and then think about the other part, which is the ability to move things through consciousness.
Can you do that? Like, can you move a pen if you just put it on live? Like, if we see a pen sitting down, can you do that,
Uh,
or
Probably,
does
but
it
I'm
take
I'm
time?
not really focused on moving things.
Okay.
Probably could, but I don't really focus on that. I'm merely now with contact with Godico. I'm more focused on the realities of the space being from the star system and constellation Sirius. So that's been really my focus now for the last few weeks.
Okay, I just was wondering, yeah, because
No,
I would
no,
love to see you do that on a live and see you actually move something on a
maybe
camera
one night I
frame.
will do that. One night I will do that for people.
But
But yeah, it's a
that would,
possibility.
that would be cool.
Hey, Will, there's, if you practice, you can like maybe do that with like a sheet of paper, like a piece of, copy paper, printing paper or something, and start with that, do, or a leaf or something really simple. I think
Yeah.
Galactic Mastery does that, type stuff, but it takes practice, I just taught a class the other day and I taught my students how to do spoon bending.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't, if we put our intention in something, we can actually do, it's amazing what we can do.
Oh, and I put
Speaking of
out my
which,
attention for
let's
something and
bring
it never
also our
worked.
friend in Israel in here as well. And I'm always getting the name incorrect. Arula, right?
Oh
Arula?
no, it's Oreya.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Aurelia. Aurelia.
Aurea,
It's
Aurea,
like do re mi. Oreya.
Aurelia.
Aurelia.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice to
Aurelia.
meet
I love
you.
the name.
What?
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm feeling a lot of times telepathic. How do you say? Telepathic abilities with my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend. But we're
Yeah.
still communicating. Sometimes yes, on purpose, and sometimes not on purpose. We just have a strong connection. I don't know how
Yeah.
or why, but it is. And sometimes when I'm trying to manifest something, even when I'm sad or when I'm happy, it's actually happening. It's could have happened very fast, and it could happen slowly. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I forget about it, and then I can see it, and I say, "Wow!" It's always wow.
Hmm.
Interesting. Can you move stuff with your mind or not?
I wish I tried
It,
only a few
I tried.
times,
I tried too,
and
and
then
it didn't work. But
and then I told myself, no, no, don't go too far, don't be crazy. But
Yeah.
I tried a few times. I did try a few times.
Yeah,
Now,
I
could you
think
two
you have to
bring your
practice.
cameras on while we're talking? Will, do you know how to do that? And
yeah, I do.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to get
think
everyone's
it
faces on
takes a
live here.
lot of work. It just takes practice, like
Yeah.
everything.
Hey, there you are.
Hey everyone,
You have to,
my new
hello.
apartment.
You have to, do a little bit every day, and put your intentions into it.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna fix my hair for a minute, and because I just woke up, I
Oh,
need
okay.
to fix
All
my
right.
hair for a minute,
Yeah,
and then I will open it.
that's good.
See,
Yeah.
I'm fixing my hair too. Looking good.
My hair is fixed already. I'm wearing a toupee. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, me too. I got a wig on tonight.
Oh,
I actually
I,
do have a couple of wigs.
I
I
don't.
like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
Just
but
need a minute.
it's not possible. Is it possible? But it's not possible to control somebody's mind. That's not possible, right?
Control
Um,
somebody's mind?
yeah, you can't.
Um,
That's free will. I don't think you can
no,
do that.
you can't
Mhm.
control somebody's mind.
Definitely.
If you hypnotize somebody and you're a hypnotist, you might be able to do it that way, but you can't really control anybody. No,
No.
no.
It, yeah, I've
There's
I've
no way that
seen
can
that
happen.
before, but I've
Yeah,
never
Fire Opal says
experienced it.
manipulation. Manipulation, yes, but control, no.
Okay.
Very true.
Yeah,
Thank you for the roses.
I think that comes from. I'm trying to think. Dr. Spock from he did the Vulcan mind control thing.
Oh, you all remember Shallow Hal, right? That movie where he hypnotized him to take the beauty out, and he actually like sees things that no one else sees.
I think that's
Um,
the closest.
There
Hi.
you are. Hey,
I think
there you
that's the
are.
I
closest
just
you
picked it
can
up
get to
like
mind
crazy.
control.
I woke up with
Yeah.
with
And
time.
it's daytime in Israel right now, correct?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
8 in the
So
morning.
good
Wow.
morning.
Good
You see,
morning.
it's 8.
8 in the morning.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
know,
how are you doing over there? Okay.
I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah, I'm okay. It's a little bit crazy. One woman unalived herself because they evacuated from her house. They evacuated a lot of people from the north and the south because of the
hmm
mess. And I guess it's too long now, and they go crazy. And yesterday she jumped off a roof. It was
hmm
very sad, but
Oh,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
not it's not it's not that easy. But
hmm
we're trying.
mm,
We try.
So it's interesting. How are
difficult.
light workers in Israel, people that are awakened people in Israel, how are the light worker community, what are they tuning into where you are in terms of the galactic levels? Have you seen spaceships or what people call UFOs in the
I
skies
told
above
you
you?
in Jerusalem we saw like beams of light, round
Yes,
ones,
I
and
remember that.
they went
I've
down and up like
I've
really
seen
fast.
videos. I've seen videos of
A
that.
group of them together,
hmm
and few years ago I saw an entity, a big one. I thought, no, don't think about it. It's not real. But I guess it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
Like
ones that the
some
spaceships that we're seeing recently in
energy
Jerusalem,
force. I don't know.
energy, yeah.
It didn't have a shape of an
Mhm.
alien, but it was some energy form. It seems like glowing. I don't know. I try not
Glow,
to get
Yeah.
into it or
glowing,
lose my
glowing,
mind.
No.
glowing lights, right? Like in the sky.
Yeah,
Were
yeah.
they making noise though?
Usually. What?
Like what was it making like a humming noise or like any kind of noise?
No, I didn't hear because it's in the city, so the
Oh,
city is loud, so
Yeah.
I couldn't
oh,
hear.
okay.
So,
I've
I
seen videos
wonder.
of it. But go ahead.
No, I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say this is Encounters Late Night UFO Talk Show. Um, I work with the Astro Command, the galactic levels of light. That's part of where I come from. So I wonder if they are trying to stop these missiles because it's not to get into that. I'm not going to get into the subject of that, but how the galactic response is on our planet when these things happen. Now I know growing up that nuclear silos were shut down during the Cold War by our space brothers. So my question is, and I don't expect you to have the answer, but I'm very interested to see if these spaceships.
I can promise you I try to do what you explained to me with
Right.
the bubble force, and I'm not actually connected to any light force worker community in Israel.
hmm
But I am connected on TikTok to a few of them, and I try to learn more how to control it. But I usually try to connect myself to the higher energy of the universe, and I
Right.
just send it out there because
Right.
this is
Well,
how
that's
I
beautiful.
feel.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
The higher.
this is how I feel. I don't want to force myself something like
Right.
I don't believe. So
Right.
I try to do it from my core and from
Right.
my actual
That's right.
wishing and manifesting. And sometimes it's actually happening and I can see it. And sometimes other forces working against it. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, no, but you're in a good place here because I have a lot of information just to share in terms of how to do some things in my workshops. I take people off planet to the a big planet, the Golden Ship, which is as big as our planet Earth, and they come back and I keep a journal of their experiences. So they have real experiences. And in your case, you're a bright light there. You're like a real beacon of light yourself. And so that's
I
why I
wish.
ask you
Thank
questions.
you.
Yes, you are. So I don't hear much from Israel. I know a few people on Facebook from Israel that are with our Ashtar Command group, but I don't know. I know there's a lot of light workers there. I don't know that they're all connected with each other or know each other, but there is a
I
community
guess
there.
not. Yeah. I heard there is, and most of them are actually lonely workers. They don't work in groups. They don't like
Right,
sit together and try to
right,
connect the power, but they do
right.
it. I know they do.
They are definitely doing their work, just like you are.
Yeah.
And
Thank
there
you.
will be a time. There'll be a time when that will happen organically, when you will find each other, and it'll be organic. It won't be forced. It'll be something like when we all find, like with this show, people are drawn here because it's a beacon of light that is here to bust the matrix on the planet, and that's what
Yeah,
I'm here to
as
do.
well as to confirm yourself you're not crazy, because it's
Right.
important not to lose
That's
your
right.
mind.
True.
Yeah,
Right. That you're not crazy.
because
That's absolutely
you
true.
see things as well, and you like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with this? And you don't want to lose it. You wanna focus.
Right. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
That's why I find it so interesting. There's been a lot of sightings in Jerusalem and in Israel during this conflict and other past conflicts. The space people are concerned about people hurting each other and killing each other. They don't want to see that. But they are monitoring our planet.
I actually believe they do make contact with the authorities of I don't know who, but I believe it, because
Mm.
just before things starting to explode, it's like they're forcing things to happen, so it's not gonna be too late later. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Interesting.
So it
Interesting.
feels like they do get some guidance, like do it now, explode it now, don't let it be too late.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we do hope.
I've heard
Yeah.
a few days ago, I had a voice in my own head, in my heart. And I do believe in God, but in a cosmic way.
Yeah. Me
And
too.
I heard a voice like couple of times. I didn't want to think. It didn't feel like my intuition. It felt like something is telling me something. This is why I ask you. Maybe the 5G I have like near my apartment may be transmitting, but it wasn't that. It was actually a voice. Few days ago, almost a week, that they attacking in Syria, and just this evening at the news, it was hush hush. Yeah, it was a secret. So we just got a little bit piece of information that they show a bombing in the middle of Syria. So I heard it a week ago, and it just probably just happened, and it was hush hush, and it just got out. And I told a
Mm.
friend of mine. I told two friends. So they will know, because I tell a friend or my mother. Maybe sometimes I tell my mother, Mom, listen, something's going to happen. I feel it. Something is
Yeah.
moving. Something is happening. I
Interesting.
feel the shift. I feel the shift sometimes.
Yeah.
And I tell people, so if it's happened, I want somebody to know, I need to inform myself. It's not just a voice,
Right.
crazy voice. I need to know it's the right voice, and not
Right.
just an intuition. It's actually a message. I get messages, and I do tell my mother, and I told two friends of mine a week ago, and I talked to them after the news I saw. I talked to them and I told them, hey, you see, I told you. And he said, yeah, you're always right. So a few years ago, it started to be very strong before COVID. 6 months before COVID, I was sitting with one friend of mine. We drink and we laugh and we did some stupid things. And then I felt something like, oh, something like that. Wow, something big it's gonna happen. And
Mhm.
he laughed at me. He made a joke. And we met again a month later, and I tell him, listen, I feel something is going to happen, something big, something is moving in the stars, something is going to shift seriously. And after a few months, 4 months or so, he called me and said, you witch, how did you know, you fucking witch? And I told him, I don't know, I feel it, I actually feel it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so it happened a few times. It started a few years ago. I don't know why, I have no idea why.
Mm-hmm.
I do art. I paint. I have a lot of painting. I
Oh,
usually
yeah.
use my spirit to create art. I love it. I make jewelries as well.
Oh,
You
beautiful.
are connected. You're
Thank
really
you.
connected.
Yeah, so I'm
You-
connected to myself with my art and with my higher self.
And that's
And I
why
always,
you're experiencing those downloads
That's
and
right.
you're getting
You
those
know,
yeah,
messages.
Grace is an
exactly,
artist too.
exactly.
Grace happens to be an artist here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like that's a big creativity is a big
Hmm.
connectivity to
Yeah.
Yeah.
the source, direct source connection.
It's a beautiful
And
way.
I feel like what's happening is you knew it was coming before, you could feel it in the ethers, and you can
Yeah.
feel it coming. So don't ever doubt yourself. You're
Yeah.
definitely getting those downloads, no
You're
doubt.
doing good work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
you
suggest
are.
personally, I think that it would help you tremendously, and I'm not sure if you have done this yet. If you could find the CE5 app, go to the App Store, download it. It's an app that was designed by Dr. Stephen Greer, and it gives you a full protocol on how to do a CE5, which is close encounters contact.
What is CE5?
It's a close encounters contact
Close encounters with extraterrestrial intelligence.
with
C5.
expertise. So you could actually make peaceful contact, and the intention for this contact is to bring in the space beings to help the planet. That's the
Right.
entire potential.
Yeah.
the
Sometimes
entire
when I
idea.
manifest, when I'm manifesting, it feels like global. Like before
Mhm.
the war, I always talk about some holiday. I talked about Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah. It's a holiday. It's the important day for the Jewish. And for a few months, I say Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, and the holiday that it happened was just right after. It was Rosh Hashanah, Kippur in 10 days. Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, 10 days, and then Sukkot, another something like 10 days. So I said Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, and 20 days after the Rosh Hashanah, it's happened. And like I feel it. For months, 4 months before, 5 months almost, I feel things happening. It's like I'm not trying. I'm not trying to do it. It's happened on its own. I swear.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
only happened.
And people
I do. I write music as well. So all of the
Oh,
songs I
beautiful.
do, I make. It's loading down to me. I'm not. Uh, some friends of mine ask me, "How can you do all of this? Where does it come from?" And I say, "It's not me." And he say, "You're so humble. You're so humble. You say it's not you, but it's you." I say, "No, it's not me. It's just it's coming to me. It's not me."
It's actually
I don't
Yeah.
know.
it's part of you, and I think the thing is that you're excited because you're going. First of all, there's a lot of energy around you. You're super excited because of it, like you're getting
Yeah.
overstimulated. But
Yeah.
do that's only suggestion. If you feel comfortable researching, you don't really need to do anything. Just maybe read the app, read the data, read the
I
information. There's
will.
a lot of
I will.
information in the app before you do the protocol, because there are sounds inside of that app that are crop circles, vibrational sounds that are recorded, and sometimes they can be a little a lot for someone who's heard them for the first time. So just be pre-warned. They're
It was a lot. I
beautiful.
was depressed for 2 months and I fell to bed. It was like it fell on me. It's like it's connected with me and it landed on me and it was so hard. I fell to the bed and I was like two
Oh my
months
God.
depressed in bed. I didn't want to eat. I lose weight. It's like it came on
I can
me and then
imagine,
it's like
because that wave of just
got out.
depression and
Yeah.
repression, it's just, I can imagine you've got to surround yourself with a protective,
Yeah.
light every single day, almost
Yeah,
multiple
it's
times a
hard.
day, because you are in a situation that's, it's just enormous. It's enormous. And
Yeah, it's big.
it's not easy to walk that walk right now. I mean, you're in it.
No.
We can
Yeah.
really easily because we're not experiencing what you are.
No, we're not.
And that's the thing. So, I mean, and I really understand that. I know Commander does too. And
I
I know
do too.
Bill does.
And we send a lot of light and love. And from the Ashtar Command
Thank you
perspective,
so much.
I send the Ashtar Command to assist the people there in peace, love, and light, that they have their
Thank
ships
you.
over there to
Amen.
assist in stopping this war with peaceful energy. And
Amen.
because they don't use weapons. The Ashtar Command is very advanced in their consciousness as beings from the galactic universe. And I'll send 2 ships over there right now. That'll be cloaked. They won't be seen by the military, and they'll just do what they are going to do. I have no questions. They'll try to bring the energy down from the conflict and friction to bring down that energy of conflict. And so we'll do the best we can with that, you know?
Yeah, and
Thank you so much.
also there are people in the comments that are in the chat room that are making great comments about, that journaling would help you. Of course, that's, it's certainly up to you. But they're sending like good vibes, and Kit Kat says the CE5 isn't to invite good space people. It's basically to help the planet.
Yes.
I mean, you are in the situation that if this is imperative that something like this
Yeah.
be done. I mean, this is like it isn't, we're not like in a practice any longer. We're
No,
actually
it's happening. It's happening for a while. Yeah. Yeah.
so at this stage of the game, we have to get real in some way. And as just civilians, you can only do what you can do. So you can use your gifts, and you don't even need to do the CE5. I think what happens with the CE5 that it just gives you a really great foundational protocol that's
Yeah, pretty
really
much.
effective.
And I actually want to do CE5 sometime. I haven't experienced it myself, but I know Commander, and you have, right, Grace? Because I have not done that yet, the CE5.
Yeah, once people learn how to do it, we have a group. When I say group, we have physical people, Chesno, Grace, myself, and some others here in New England, Connecticut.
Yeah, when I saw your live, I listened and listened and listened, and then I had to come up and ask you because I had to make sure. I know those things are real because I check back them. I didn't like say, okay, I'm a magician. No, because it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
And
Mm-mm.
yeah, and I check back them, and I double check them, and again and again and again for a few years. So I know I'm not crazy, and I keep
You're
it
not
on
crazy at
control.
all.
No, I don't
No,
know.
But
you're
Yeah,
but
you're
not
not
at
crazy at
all.
sometimes,
all.
No, you're
thank
not at
you.
all. You're not at all.
But
And UFO UAP Skyscanner in the chat says that you're connected directly with our brothers of light. So, this is the thing. It's just, I think you're in this point now where you realize it's happening for you.
Yeah.
Connectivity is happening.
the one thing I wanted to ask you is how can I control it not to hurt me? Because sometimes it's so strong, it's dropping me down.
Yeah.
It's taking me a month or 2 or 3 to get up of go back to do things like a normal person, like go be active, because it's making me weak. It's draining me. I'm like as spaghetti noodles. I'm always tired. I want to go. I always in bed. I always like. All I want to do is be in bed. It's making me weak, so it's
Yeah.
draining me and it's breaking me. I just want to ask, how can I not let it like land on me, because it's coming on me first, because they connected to me. It's connecting to
you're
me.
wide
I
open.
suck it in and then it's go out. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
so you're wide open. I mean, I'll take this first
Yeah.
and then I'll let Commander finish up. But
Go ahead, Grace. I think
I
you would be good
feel
at this.
like you're wide open. You're
Yeah.
you're
The
blown
bubble
wide
you
open.
talk about. I
And
try
what
to
I
do
mean
that.
by that, you're just like always receiving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you have to do is seal that off. And
How?
set the intention of just sealing it off and putting like a nice bubble of like white light around you.
Yeah,
Use
I
the
try
Christ
to do the bubble.
consciousness. We always talk about that here in the room. The
Yeah.
Christed consciousness, the galactic energies, all of the positivities. But seal yourself off. Put a
I try to do
force
that.
field
Yeah.
around you, an aura around you, a bubble of white light, and get in that
Yeah.
light and stay there. And even if you have to keep doing it, because sometimes it takes some practice to actually, I was just teaching a class on this the other day. I had a group of students and I was teaching them about it. One of the women in the class was a teacher. She teaches high school. And she said, the kids' energy is just nuts. And I said, listen, she goes, I'm going to be able to utilize all of these skills. And I said, in my classroom, and I said, no one's going to, no one really has to know you're doing it.
Right.
So when you feel, I mean, there are some circumstances around war that are unprecedented. You can, it's like no one can really wrap their minds around it. It's just a condition that like we as human beings should not have to
Yeah.
endure. But I mean, because you are wide open, you are energetically absorbing everything around you. You're an empath. You're
Yes,
you're
I
open.
care a lot. I care so
Because
much
of all
about
the
everything.
the energies around you are very intense. So you're
You can
feeling,
see it. You can
when
see
you
it.
watch too much news, if you watch too much
Yeah.
news, you get like,
Yeah.
you get TMJ, like you
I
gritting your
cried. I cried yesterday. I cried. I saw the
Mhm.
soldiers hurt in the field, and I cried. And I said, "Oh, please, God, keep them safe. They are the salt of this earth. They are
I'm
good
so
young men."
sorry. I pray for you.
I
I
was
really just
cried.
pray for you all over there. I mean,
Mhm.
I
Me
just
too.
can't even, I
Thank
can't
you
even,
so
like,
much.
it's bringing me to tears. I'm actually getting
No, no,
emotional.
don't, don't.
I
Thank you so much.
really want you to just do the best you can. I mean, you're only, let's face it, we're all human beings
Mm.
and we can only
Yeah,
do
no,
what
my
we can
heart is
do.
very soft. I'm very soft. I'm
But we have the
so.
power, we have the ability to do like Jesus did. Jesus always said, "You can do what I do and more." Right? So the cosmic Christ, the tap into the cosmic energies and cover yourself with a veil of protection, and
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
get in that bubble. And if you do have to get into bed and cover yourself with a sheet or a blanket, do it. Do what it takes.
I do it because I feel tired. I
And
cannot
then,
cope.
and then
I
the
cannot
other
cope.
thing is grounding yourself is also important to Mother Earth,
Yeah.
to Gaia. Grounding 100% grounding. So imagine your energetic field like a tube. That tube goes through the body. You're receiving from the Christ energies, which is
I'm sorry. I'm
all.
sorry. I'm Jewish. I cannot believe in Christ. I connect to
That's
one
okay.
Almighty.
Whatever it is
One
that you can
Almighty.
do, the Christ
However it
Yeah.
consciousness, the
works.
divine light, whatever works for
Yeah,
Yeah.
divine
you,
light, one Almighty, the great energy of the
The creator.
universe,
exactly.
and
The
So
creator,
so
the
and
whatever
creator,
works for you,
when we
sky
the
say
creator.
people, whatever
when we
works for you.
I was
Bring
gonna say
down the
when we
energy of the light through the
yeah.
body and then ground yourself through the
When I
feet
know.
all the way
Hmm.
into the earth and put the hooks in Mother Earth and ground yourself like the root of a tree into the earth. So not only are you gaining energy from the earth, you're gaining any energy from the source as well. So you're filling yourself with that because we're like vessels
Mhm.
waiting to be filled.
Yeah,
You have to
Right.
continually do this because you're being depleted. Your chi is like getting exhausted.
yeah,
And so we need to fill it up. So look into Qigong. I don't know if you know what Qigong is. If you don't know what it is, maybe Google it. It's an ancient method where you can learn how to manipulate energy and
your chi,
fill
your
yourself up
your
with it.
chi energy.
This
Yeah,
is
I know
exactly
about
what I'm
that.
talking about. It's just an exercise, where you can just get the energy from, source, bring it
Yeah,
into the
you
field.
need to relax and like do something like meditation. Yeah, and to
Yeah,
focus on
make
that
the
and
actions with your
yeah,
hands,
yeah, yeah.
receive the energy, bring the energy back into the body, just keep doing it, go around in
So this
circles
is
like
how I
this.
can control it because I don't want to lose it. It's like a gift. I don't want to lose it, but I don't
You
want it to hurt me so as well because
won't,
it's
Right.
you
very
won't,
hard.
you won't. And you're doing really well. You're doing
Thank
really
you.
well. I'm
Can
really
you guys
glad you
hear
came
me?
on.
You guys hear
I
me?
just want to say, and we'll have
Yeah,
Helly in
yeah,
a
we
second.
hear you.
I just wanted to say, when we talk, I came from a Jewish background, just to let you know, that's my family background.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
when I use the word Christ consciousness, it has nothing to do with the 3D religion of Christ. So how I'll explain it from being Jewish to another Jewish person in Israel is that Christ
Yeah,
consciousness is a cosmic consciousness, not the earth-based Christ that you know about from
yeah,
earth-based religion. So when we say, you know, Christ consciousness, you have to let go of the religious beliefs you have and understand because you know a
mhm,
lot about the cosmic levels yourself, but we
yeah,
all were born in certain religions. So I gave up my belief in my religion. I know where I came from, being Jewish, but I also had too many experiences with the space people and being a contactee that it blew my whole understanding of things right out the water. And so when you have that happen to you, you look at earth-based religion, whether it be Muslim, Catholic, Hebrew, whatever it might be,
Yeah,
those things that
I think religion doesn't have nothing to do with that, because religion is also came
right,
besides give you
We're all energy.
some
right,
decent rules not to analyze each other, and like
right,
a
right,
guidebook, don't do bad things to each other.
right.
It's only here to control the mindset of the group.
That's
This
right,
is not something I try to connect to, but I do
right,
connect to the creator and the
right.
energy.
That's
So
beautiful. That's the
I
thing.
actually just
And
wanted to
Haley,
jump on
Haley, you were
here.
gonna say something. Go ahead, Haley.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump on here. So don't mind the mess. I'm in the playroom. I'm 29 years old. I've been getting sleep paralysis since I was 13 years old. Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you cannot go to sleep.
Well, upon falling asleep and upon waking up, your body paralyzes itself so you can't act out your dream. It can be very terrifying. You can hallucinate. You can hear things.
It
Now,
happened to me. I dream and I woke up and I'm in the dream. Yeah, it's very scary.
so that's a vivid dream. What I'm
Okay.
explaining is you can look around you. You can see your room or
Right.
wherever you lay down.
Yeah.
Now, for the last 2 years, something really weird has happened from that. Usually when you fight off sleep paralysis, you're just in a terrible mindset. You're terrified. The visions get a little worse. Now, what I've learned, if you stop fighting them and you relax, you can actually have an outer body experience. And I've
Yes.
been having a lot of those lately, where you actually feel yourself separate. It's kind of like Velcro.
Yeah, I
You
used to have those as a kid. I used to actually have that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's not just that though. So like you do the separation from yourself, it kind of feels like
Yeah.
you're slipping out.
It is that. It is that. It's like
Yep.
an astral travel.
And then you can see like bursts of colors. They're like neon lights.
Mm-hmm.
You can see through things if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That caught me off guard the first
It's a
time.
gift. Do you feel it's a gift? It's a harsh
Everybody can do
gift.
it. Everybody can do it. You just got to
Oh,
kind of
okay.
learn how to do it. But
Okay.
you also have to be comfortable to do it. Like I've been
Yeah.
getting sleep paralysis since I was 13 years old. I'm now 29, but I just started this about 2 years ago.
Have you ever been checked for the sleep paralysis
I
by a
have.
urologist?
So when I started to get on the grip of like astral projection, you actually go through like this stage where you vibrate and it feels like you're holding a chainsaw. It can be very painful. So I actually thought I was having a seizure. Now I'm fully conscious while this is happening, so I'm aware that something's not right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously, like I set up for a sleep study, and the main reason why I set up the sleep study is because I thought I had narcolepsy without cataplexy. Now,
Yeah.
narcolepsy you can just knock out randomly. Without cataplexy, you can just be tired all the time and have a sleep disorder. So I got tested for that. I came back negative for it. But then, many years later, I astral project for the first time.
Right.
You can hear people talk. I have never saw anybody within the realm. I was like what they call like earth realm. Like I never left. I'm too scared to leave because apparently this is when everything comes into play.
Yeah.
You have to be in a mindset to really go there. I don't think I'm exactly ready. But there's definitely a lot more than this. 100%.
Right.
The only way that I can explain it is we have 7 senses, right? As for a worm, right, they can feel vibrations. They can't see us. So for them to perceive us, they can't. So with our 7 senses, how much can we perceive that's around us in a different dimension?
Right.
We can only work with what we got.
What did you saw? You actually saw?
What
Like,
did I see?
yeah.
Like she was asking
What
what you
did
saw in your when you were in your dream state.
So
or
so this is what's
Nine
weird. I'm
planets.
not actually dreaming when it happens. I'm fully awake.
Okay. You're fully awake.
As I'm falling asleep or when I'm waking up, my body starts to kind of like feel like a slipping feeling. My body goes numb. I become paralyzed.
I can close my eyes, I can open my eyes. When I open my eyes, I'm seeing literally everything in front of me the way it is, right? The chair's over there, the TV's on, I can see it. And then suddenly something will walk past me, something will touch me, and people, say
Energy.
it's
So
hallucination,
so you
fake.
you saw and felt energy, and you didn't just see something or someone like an alien or something,
Well,
right?
people have seen some crazy things in that situation. As for me, I've always been terrified. I mean, you can read on it. I mean, you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. It sounds scary.
It can be at
Yeah.
first. Like I'm still scared of it,
I
but like I'm telling you, if you can get in the mindset and you relax,
Mm-hmm.
you can legit stay calm, and then you just like catapult into like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like pitch black, and then you see things. Like I was in my bedroom, and at the time, my fiance was sitting at his computer playing video games. Usually, they see shadow people. Very correct. And I
Hmm.
felt safe, and I actually went up to him, and I went like this in front of his face. He could not see me. He could not see me, and I started like laughing. I'm like, whoa, he cannot see me at all. So I like jumped to a different dimension in which he could not see me.
Yeah.
So I believe that multiple people can meet up at once and do this. Okay, people have been known to go to Nevada to then storm Area
I heard
51, and that's
people
like the main place
even
they can't
taking
go.
ayahuasca to experience what you experience. Actually, people go to take some trips and try ayahuasca to get to this level.
Mm-hmm.
To
Yeah,
what
so
you're saying. Astraling is amazing. I think I experienced it once, not intentionally, and I don't remember how, so I cannot even try to repeat it. But I think I felt it once.
so we all
But when
do
I
it
was
when we
young,
sleep. We all do it when we sleep. When we go to sleep, we astral travel. The difference is
yeah.
if you can do it while you're conscious, you'll remember everything. Sometimes it feels more real than reality does.
So it happened once on consciousness when I was a child, and I had some vivid dreams you talked about, but it was terror. It was very scary, and I woke up crying and hysterically, and that's it.
Hmm.
I didn't have what you had, or I never actually managed to astral to do it on intentionally. Sometimes when I evaporate medicinal, I do it once a month. I don't do it every day, but because I love art, I do allow myself to relax. And sometimes when I'm vaporizing, I actually feel like I'm astraling. I don't know if I am or not, but
You will
in
know.
my feeling,
You will
in my
know. You won't
in my
question it.
feeling, so I feel like I do, but I don't know if I'm actually doing it.
You look at
I
You
life
don't
most,
know.
you most,
differently.
you most definitely are. I mean, if you,
I
when you go
feel
out of
like I
body,
do.
oh, you, well,
Yeah,
you'll do it. Like for example, for a number of years ago, when I was bilocating, driving my car on the interstate highway, I'd be driving the car physically. I was wide awake. All of a sudden, I'm taken out of the car. When I say taken, I bilocate somewhere else, and I have no idea where I am. I'm just like somewhere else. And then I find out I'm in the car on Interstate 91 going north to Hartford, and I'm in the car and I'm fine. The car's driving fine in the lane it's in, but I wasn't there. I mean, I just was taken out and I wasn't there anymore because I was bilocated, which it might be a little bit different than what we're talking about, but it's the same kind of idea. I'm
yeah.
bilocated somewhere else and then I'm brought back into my physical car to drive it.
See, the problem I
Okay,
have with
so
that is I do often feel that as well, but the problem is, unfortunately, is when you start to become so spiritual awakened, you can disassociate a lot. Like you can
mhm.
forget about reality, you can trip yourself
Yeah,
out.
exactly. It can put you down. It can actually
But
totally
that's the
put you
hardest
down.
part that you got to get through because once you push through
To
that, like
control,
I
to
still find
control.
myself disassociating quite a bit,
Yeah.
where somebody can be talking to me and just the conversation could freak me out, where it's like a meltdown inside.
No, actually, no, it's not happening to me. But if someone is Like I
Psychosis,
feel the
yes.
energy, like jealousy, or try to manipulate me, or a bad energy. I can freak out and run away. Yeah,
Hmm.
but normal conversation don't bother me. No,
Hmm.
It's also
but I do
really
feel when people are lying, and I do feel when their intention are bad. I feel it
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
on like this
well,
Well,
that's
you're
in a
also
tuned
second.
into you're tuned into their energy. That's why you feel it. It's
Yeah,
the energy. Yeah,
like she
absolutely
said,
correct.
I'm open. Like I didn't try to control it. Maybe I should control it so it won't hit me so hard. You know?
Hmm.
so the
I
more
have
you
a
try to
question
control it, the
for
less you're
you.
gonna have control. It's such a weird touch and go.
I
If
have a
you
question
try to do
for
it too
you.
much, that's it. It cuts itself
Hmm.
off.
So have you? I
That's
think.
what I'm afraid of.
I'm sorry, Arula.
Grace, go ahead.
I have a quick
Your voice
question for
is.
you.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you are experiencing a like overdose, a natural. You're overproducing like a DMT,
Oh,
dimethyltryptamine, which is known as a hallucinogenic in the body. It's called the God molecule. Have you ever heard of it?
naturally?
Are you talking to me
Because
or her?
Yeah,
I
it's
smoke
we produce
once
that
a
in our
month.
bodies naturally.
Okay. Okay.
It's called DMT.
I
And
know what it is.
people will, it's like and people can, we produce it in our bodies naturally, but people will take it, and they'll have trips, they'll go on trips.
Yeah, I took some
They go
acid
on
when I was
profound
20.
trips, and it's actually a lot of what Haley's describing
Mhm.
are similar. People's descriptions of their trips have been very similar, where they go and they meet up with very dark entities, and then they can push through those entities and move to the next level. It's sort of
The
like if
next level, yeah. Yep, it's the playing fields in which you have
and
to be more
so I
enlightened
would
to keep going.
research that a bit, just so you know about it,
Mhm.
and that might help you. That might help you.
Okay, so my body produced this on its own
I'm not suggesting that
unintentionally.
people do it. Just don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that people take that drug or do that drug
I didn't.
because
I heard about it. I heard about ayahuasca. I never tried. I don't want to try because I'm afraid.
I
But
mean it can
when
cause
I
And
don't
it can
let me
find
cause
just
anybody.
psychosis. It can
let
definitely
me
cause
kind of
psychosis.
jump in here a little bit. So it's like 1:40 a.m. in the morning on the east coast of the
Oh
U.S.
my God, is
And
it really?
it really is getting late now, and that's the only reason why I'm saying that. Not that I don't want to keep talking,
Yeah,
but
no,
some of
no,
us,
yeah.
even the host has to get some off-planet rest. But I want to say this is an important discussion on the cosmic spiritual level. And one of the things I do say is, that whatever's happening, sometimes we're naturally open, our consciousness is awake, and I think yours is, that you're
Okay.
experiencing, you're receiving all these things because your consciousness is naturally fully aware and awake. And that's why you're feeling all these things. And the word control it would be not so much to control it, but to, once you have all this stuff that you're downloaded with, now you have to try to figure all of it out and sit and meditate. Best thing to do is
Mhm.
to meditate and figure out what things this is, like use some higher frequency music, sit down
Decoding.
quietly with all the stuff going on around you, the war and everything. Allow yourself time to just, when it's quiet, like some higher dimensional music, and just sit there, listen to it to calm yourself.
That's what I
And then
do.
if you calm yourself,
But
you do?
that's what I
Okay.
do.
That's
That's what
really
I do.
important.
But I actually go and paint a painting so I can let it out of my system, and it relaxes me. And sometimes I just write music, the melody with the lyrics together, and it's
Right.
beautiful. And I take it to an artistic place.
Good.
So
That's good. That's a beautiful thing.
yeah,
So I want to say to everybody, thank you for such a beautiful discussion. Haley, thanks for coming on and bringing in some good
thank you
insights
so
here.
much. Thank you.
We love everybody here, and all the people with their comments here as well. Very beautiful. I want to say thank you, Brother John Connors, if he's still out there. We love you, brother, and we love everybody. The person that wants to talk about Gatico,
Just before you go, please, what did you
yeah,
say to do with the DMT? How do I take the levels down?
Well, that's naturally produced in our bodies.
it's in
So
your
the
Okay.
body
thing
already.
is, I don't recommend taking it
No, we're not telling
because
you to take anything.
I would
I never took it.
never recommend it. I wanted to just bring it to the young woman's attention because I feel that's something that could, if she researched, she could learn more about it and help herself.
Yeah,
Because that's some heavy responsibility right there. You don't
yeah,
want to, you don't know what you're going to encounter. Let's just
right.
Yeah,
say you want to
yeah,
be
yeah,
in
yeah,
control of what you encounter.
yeah.
So I would just say, listen, take the advice of Commander and take the advice of, the chat. Just take it slow, one step at a time. I wouldn't get
Yeah,
into doing any, I don't suggest to, it's
yeah.
good to have
Put it this way.
knowledge.
One of the things I will say very clearly from my experience as a contactee, and with my
Mhm.
experience now with Gatico, which is a space being from the Syrian star system, I don't take anything.
Okay.
Everything that happens, happens. I believe from experience that, people need to keep your body's your temple. For me, I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't
I don't take
vape. I don't
anything.
do anything.
I actually, I don't take
That's good.
anything.
No, you're good. That's the way you
Yeah.
keep your temple pure. There are
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
that do vaping and all this
I
other
took
stuff.
acid few times,
They
but
need
I
to.
was 20 and now I'm 46. I'm almost 46. So I know I don't
Oh
look
wow,
like it.
you
Yeah,
don't.
I don't look, I don't know, it's a magic, but I am 46. I was 20, I took acid few times and that's it. But I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
touch it. I don't like it.
No.
Because I
I
mean,
don't need it.
drugs like that can bring on psychosis, and you just don't want to risk that at this point because
Yeah,
already
I
your
don't like it.
body's being taxed.
Right. And the
So,
one thing I
and
teach
I'm not a
people is
doctor. I'm not making any
right.
suggestions here. I
Mhm.
am not.
Right.
This is all
She's
for
not a doctor.
entertainment.
Well, what I'm
This is
saying
all
though, in
for
terms of the
entertainment
purity of
purposes.
light, is that I encourage people on my UFO show here, which is spiritually induced in terms of what we talk about and being experienced as a contactee. In my journey, coming from another planet, nothing, I mean, back in the day, in my college days, yeah, we had marijuana, but I
Yeah,
never took any, I never took any drugs,
hallucinogen. Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah.
I just believe that people need to keep their temple clear. That means the purity of your temple is your body. The inner body is your temple. People that vape and stuff and
Okay.
all this other stuff, it's a free will universe. Do what you want to do, but it also clogs up your ability of your temple.
It helped me to relax. It's like relaxing me and I can take one step down. So, and I
Yeah,
do it once a month, sometimes once in 2 months, but it's actually put me down instead of the vibe I am
right.
Yeah.
naturally
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm always high. So this is putting me down.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
It's
I'm like
medicinal.
you.
Yeah,
I'm get hyper, and I do like things like chamomile tea. I do passion
right,
flower tea.
Yeah.
I listen to very relaxing music. I paint.
right,
I do what I can. I play sound bowls. I do it, or I go for a walk. I mean, if you can't go for a walk, then just do some exercise or something, yoga. I
right.
just feel like there are many, 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 many modalities that you can introduce into your world right now that'll kind of whatever works at this point. I feel
Right.
petting a dog, petting a cat,
Oh yeah.
playing with a child. I just feel like these are all things that can
That's it. I don't have
naturally
kids.
help.
I didn't get married. I don't have kids. I'm like non. I'm not going into mainstream. I love to
Yeah.
stay alone. I love to make my art and be a
Right.
loner. But
You
I do
like
have
you like
friends
your
and
freedom.
I
Yeah.
do
No,
go
you
out.
like your freedom.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you know
Yeah.
what? It is getting late.
and we
I'd
gotta
love
go.
to
Okay.
continue this. I
Thank
know.
you
I'd
so
love to.
much
Yeah.
for
Oh,
having
we.
me and helping.
Oh, we're glad to have you as a friend of the show and a cosmic
Thank
spiritual
you so
being over
much.
in Israel. So you're doing good. Just we will always help you because I know you're surrounded by bombing and war, and we pray from a cosmic level that there's peace on
I'm
earth,
in a good
peace in
area. I'm
Israel.
in the center of the country, so I'm kind of safe at the moment.
Okay.
So I'm okay, but the rest of the country is
Yeah.
crazy. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and have a happy Christmas because I know it's coming for you, and we
Thank
have
you.
Hanukkah. So
Yeah,
happy
Yeah. We
holidays.
do have
happy
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Yeah,
Um,
and happy holidays. Thank you so much.
yeah.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
Good
you.
thank
night.
you. We love you over
Night.
there, and you
Good
be
night,
well. Take care.
Commander.
Everybody, encounters tomorrow night. We'll be talking more about our contact stuff. Everybody have a good night. This has been Encounters, the
Night.
UFO Spiritual Talk Show here on TikTok. We will be signing out.